All right, no problem. Hey, what's good, dude? Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's yeah, it's a doozy. It's Jesus Christ, man. It's like 12 p.m. here. Fucking time zones. Am I right? But I'm in Argentina, man. Yep, yep. I'm from Argentine land. I can hear a little bit of echo, but
Should
that's
be able to
okay.
fix
No
that in
worries.
just a minute. Good. You sound good. Uh,
Excellent.
You'll be able to see me
First,
in a
I want
minute.
to a comedy. I wanted to ask you something. I wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Um, how do you feel about prop comedy?
Um, it can be really good. Like I think that there's certain people that can get away with it really well. Like Carrot Top's pretty good. But if it's I particularly like it when it's a more silly kind of style, like a whose line is it anyways kind of deal. That's when it
Oh
really
yeah,
feels
they're
like it
brilliant.
shines.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're
Um,
brilliant.
Otherwise, like it's weird. Like I feel like if you're not Carrot Top and it's your whole shtick, it's a little weird.
Yeah. But do you like my cock hat?
Oh, I do like that. I used to have a you know what a pop filter is?
Yeah, that one.
Um,
It's on my camera right now.
or not a pop filter. God damn it. I meant what do they call it? Pop something on the back of your phone?
Uh,
What do they
I
call
have no idea
those?
what the fuck you're talking about. Oh wait, you're not echoing. I just had your fucking stream on in the background like a dumbass. Huh.
Oh,
Nah, we're
based.
good.
Thank you. Oh yeah, and
Yeah,
I can give you my
I'm
camera
inflating.
now.
I'm inflating your views right now.
Yeah. Um, what are they called? They you put them on the back of your phone, and you can stretch them out, and then like you can hold your phone. It's a
Oh, the
pop
rings, like
something.
the phone rings. I don't know what the fuck they're called. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I used to have one that says like I love beautiful cock or something like that with a rooster on it. Comedy
That's
accessories are
good.
good. That's not the
That's
same
good.
as prop
That's
comedy.
good. True. True. Hmm.
Um,
Who's your favorite comic?
George Carlin.
Okay, good choice.
Well,
Good.
I think that even like second place is a pretty big margin from him. I have vinyl of George Carlin.
Ooh. Oh, that's awesome.
Growing up, like when I was like 16, if you would have said who's your heroes, I would have said Anton LaVey and George Carlin, like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's a legend, man. He's a fucking legend.
Yeah,
He'd be fucking spinning in his grave right now. The state of
dude,
comedy.
he wouldn't have let it happen.
No,
You want
it's crazy how people like, fucking twist the dead man's words like the whole fucking norm Twitter thread. Like you see people just like I don't know, just so many things go over people's heads,
he's
like
a hard
in
comic to
terms of
understand, period. He
yeah,
goes
because
he's
he's like
really dry and he's sometimes just really off the wall. So
he likes fucking with people.
like people just need to like I don't like if you're just like an average listener, like you're gonna misunderstand Norm.
It's like I don't know. It's like people that take what's the word? I like Always Sunny. Like there are people that like watch Always Sunny and like relate to the characters when they're meant to be pieces of shit. You know, it's like
Um
people can like completely like miss the point of art in such a big way.
I think it's really weird too
Wild.
because I had a long time ago I had a argument with one of my friends about people like saying the N word in jokes, and we Sonny came up and he goes, "Yeah, but they're awful people. They're supposed to be bad." And I was like, "All right, cool. At least you get that. That's really good." Um, but like, I think that people, if you're watching comedy and you're getting offended, stop watching fucking comedy. Like that's not like that's not your deal.
The
You're
thing
going
is,
to a
yeah,
place where people don't
there
mean what they say.
yeah, there are people that like go to like a quote unquote comedy show that's like like a political rally almost. Like they just go to like kind of get somebody to like preach to them with shit they already agree on instead of like actually like being challenged. Um, I mean that's like the LA type comedy that I really don't like.
Oh, do you have an example of a comic?
Mm, um, I think his name is James Allister or James McAllister, something like that. I don't know. He's like a whole like don't punch down guy. Like his whole thing is like if you punch down, you're like a piece of shit. Is his whole position.
Oh, he looks like he looks like a guy who tells you he's an artist without you asking.
I'm gonna take a bath. Do you want the
That's
dogs
good.
out?
No, they're
Yeah,
good.
Okay.
that's good. That's good.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, he
Wow, what
does.
the
He
hell?
does. Yeah, I've had God, I don't know, like people don't like I've gotten in like a couple like comedy arguments on Twitter recently and it's like
Pop
uh
socket.
what was the other one? Um fuck. Lost my train of
You nailed
thought.
it, Alk.
There was a mm,
So what's the let me try to help you out then. What's
yeah,
the
help me out here.
biggest piece of like what's the biggest disconnect do you think between you and the average person that's arguing with you about comedy?
I think I have gallows humor from my life experience, being fucking Venezuelan, living through the shit I lived through. And I think my people are able to find comedy in a lot of dark things that, other people kind of are, shy away from.
Uh
So, like,
that makes sense.
there's like, it's like a way to cope almost, with the situation. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
'cause-
was diagnosed with depression when I was 5. Do you know how fucked you gotta be when you're 5 years old and somebody's like, "Oh yeah, this kid has
Jesus.
depression."
How do you
Uh,
how do you even have depression? How's that possible? I mean,
because unlike a lot of people, like it turns out, a study came out in Newsweek like 11 years ago that 76% of people that are on antidepressants do not have like what's the right word? They don't have like the disease of depression. They're suffering from being depressed, but they don't have like the chemical imbalance. They
yeah,
don't
yeah, I
have
get it. Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's like
unfortunately for me,
outside like circumstances.
yeah, I was born with the
Mm,
deficiency. I was at 5 years old. My brain wasn't giving me enough of the don't want to die juice.
happy chemicals. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks,
Um,
man. That sucks.
well, I think that's why, like, very, very early, like, I looked at stand-up comedy as like one of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm. Truly. I mean, laughter is the best medicine. I mean, that's like, that's an expression, but I'm pretty sure like science can back that up. Like, I have a lot of like economic anxiety about what's going to happen in Argentina. It's like unprecedented. This libertarian guy broke new ground with being the first fucking libertarian president, and he's gonna now we're now the proud nation of Ancapistan. So I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I mean, I'm hoping for the best. But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of anxiety, and Argentines take the absolute piss out of every politician, every aspect of our society. Because that's the same as Venezuela. It's how we cope with like the shitty circumstances we find ourselves in.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And like, it's weird. It's weird that like you can only have to do that here. Like, if I make fun of Trump, people act like if they make fun of Biden, like I'm gonna get upset. Like, I actually like Biden, but like, yeah, Biden's fucking funny,
Mhm.
dude. It's
Yeah.
funny when he gets like lost when he's trying to walk off the stage. That doesn't mean like okay, so I want like
or
I
when
don't
he's talking
understand.
about it's rubbing his like leg hair or something like that.
Like even when people make fun of me,
That's
as long as
mhm.
it's funny, that's good.
Oh
I had
yeah.
I had a
Yes.
stream for 3 hours where I debated like 7 people at once, and one guy would just chime in to like insult me. I'm just like, dude, like can you try? Like, I'm not upset that you're like making fun of me. I'm
Yes.
upset that like
Yes.
you're not.
Yes.
There's nothing there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, because if somebody makes fun of me and it's good,
Like, get
I'm gonna laugh.
creative. Exactly. Yeah. Have you ever oh, you should do a roast.
I did. I did a roast of Chud Logic. I had like a ton of people on, and it was fucking
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. Shit, I gotta watch that. I think I remember that happened. Fuck. That's
Dude,
great.
Tuna Chip
Those are
had
the
me in
best.
tears. Chud got banned on Twitch for a day because of it, because somebody dropped the F slur.
Jesus. Who was it? Who was it?
It was Queen Alexa.
Of course it was Queen Alexa. Oh boy.
Yeah, 100%. I wasn't surprised, and like I told everybody, I guess Chud just didn't read the thing, so he didn't understand. And I said it at the beginning too. He thought I was joking when I was like, "Hey, maybe don't put this on Twitch." So whatever. I tried. I guess I could have done more, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I really liked some of the jokes people made about me. Those were all really good. Yeah, it was a good time. I do like roasts.
That's awesome. So do you do stand up like professionally? Or you just,
I've
like,
always wanted
enjoy
to. I always wanted to go do an open mic. It's I sent you that video. There's like the first joke I ever wrote to be like a stand up bit, and it was to give that example.
Oh,
I just
that's
assume
awesome.
that I don't assume you to have watched it, but to
No,
demonstrate.
I did. I watched it.
Oh,
I
did you
just
like
have
my joke? Did you like
I
my
have
bit?
I had a goldfish's memory. Wait, the mom dying thing.
No, the one
Wait, no,
I
it
just
was
sent it to you like 20 minutes ago.
no the I
Oh,
watched
it was about
the thing you sent, but there were
abortion.
like a few jokes. What joke?
The
There were like a
abortion and
few
like
jokes.
babies aren't special.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's funny.
Thank you.
That subverts expectations.
I was leaving work one day and I was like, oh, I sat down in my car and wrote that whole bit out. I was like, this is like a perfect Louis C.K. style bit.
That is absolutely his style. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Um.
so I feel like it can sound pretentious when I say like I'm a student of comedy. Like when I listen to people, like I can often tell where the jokes are gonna
Yes.
go based on who it is or like how they're gonna like come in at the end. Like I'm pretty passionate about the comedy that I watch because it's always been so meaningful to me.
Absolutely, it's an art form, man. Yeah, it's a healing art form, to be honest. Like people go there and they're, maybe they go in with a shitty mood, shitty expectations, and someone makes them laugh in an unexpected way and cheers them up. It's a really really positive thing in the world, and there should be scenes like that. Fucking God. Sorry, this is like a complete tangent, but how fucking crazy is it that Zelensky, like a comedian, became the president of
I had
Ukraine?
no idea that he was a comedian. What? I'm gonna watch his stand up now.
Wait, you didn't know Zelensky's a comedian?
No,
Yeah,
I'm in awe. That's
yeah.
I don't know if that's amazing or terrifying considering they're at war.
I think it's brilliant. I think I think there should be more comedians in politics. I think Al Franken, if he didn't fucking you know whatever the fuck happened there, if he didn't like resign, that would have fucking blown over. That would have blown over. He would demolish in
Give me Jon
debates.
Stewart as
Jon
president.
Stewart too.
He would do
Jon
really good in
Stewart.
debates.
I think he's gonna run.
In fact,
I think
if
he's gonna
there's
run
anybody who could beat
for
Trump in a
governor.
debate, it would be Jon Stewart. Would tear him up because he can like he's been making jokes about Trump
Yes.
in his sleep. I know he has, and he doesn't mind like the shit flinging. But
Yeah,
politicians
he's good
can't
at
do
it.
it.
Did you watch the Jon Stewart and Bill O'Reilly like debate
Oh
thingy?
yeah, dude, they
Where
they
he
were
stood
so
on the podium,
unprepared.
but Jon Stewart, like, he's short. He went on the podium and he got like a stool or something to like lift himself up, so he could be at like Bill O'Reilly's like
Height.
height.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good. Wasn't it Bill O'Reilly and wasn't Tucker Carlson there too? Oh wait, I'm thinking of the Crossfire one he
No,
did.
yeah, you're thinking Crossfire. Yeah, that was also fucking legendary.
Yeah, that's
Fucking
I
destroyed
don't
that show.
I don't remember the Bill O'Reilly one. I remember the Crossfire one, and he destroyed them.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Um,
story about that was that I think he was like in a bad mood. He didn't have his coffee or something. He was just kind of crabby and he just fucking demolished them.
uh,
It's so funny.
I like that even better if the reason why he went that hard is because he was in a bad mood and he's just like not dealing with any of Tucker's shit.
Yeah.
Um,
And that was like Tucker before he was like, 2024 Tucker Carlson.
before he OD'd on red pills.
Yeah, exactly. That was bow tie Tucker Carlson. Bow
Uh,
tie.
yeah. He wasn't that bad then. He still had like the kind of
He
like
was on NBC, right? Yeah, he was like kind of lefty-ish.
he had like the same
Lefty, I
rigorous
don't know.
passion that he has for like making his points, but he wasn't quite as brain dead. And like needle focused only can possibly think one thing back then.
Like precision, like targeted to like rile people up and divide people, and fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
his shtick.
probably the way I'd go about it. Yeah. Yeah, he freaks me out.
He's very smart. It's and like very rhetorically like the way he conducts his interviews and like his approach to like what he's doing now with Twitter and stuff is like really interesting.
Yeah, I seen one of his interviews.
He's
I
really,
liked it.
really influential. Really influential.
He did good with
Like,
Elon Musk, I thought. I thought that was a really good interview. I found it very
Oh, I
informative.
didn't watch it. I didn't watch
Um,
that one.
Somebody in my chat said, "You knew he was fucking hilarious, Mr. Girl," but we already knew that. And he is. I think he's the funniest streamer.
He is fucking hilarious. He's.
Did you ever see him talk to Alex from Playing with Fire?
Wait, I'll say he's an artist.
He is an artist.
He's
Yes.
through and through.
I talked
But,
to Wicked Supreme about him, and he
mhm.
said the biggest thing that he's upset about Mr. Girl getting banned off of Twitch for, that's how long ago this was that the guy's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he is. Did you see his blackface song?
Oh yeah, I have a video up of me reacting to it, and I tried to blur all the stuff so I could still show the video. And I was just like, after 20 minutes, I was like, I think I'm done. I was like, I'm not. I was like, I'm blurring the whole video. You can watch it on Twitter. You can see me react to it with the blurred video up. That's fine. I can't do it because then after I did, I made my wife sit down and watch it after I watched it, and I got her reaction too. And I'm not editing that 2 times with YouTube's blur feature is too much. It was so good. So it did this thing that Sonny also did, where I thought the funniest part about the blackface video was that the amount of time and quality put into that video for like a song called "Shake Your Pussy." That's the funniest thing to me. Like he spent like 1,000 hours, probably over $1,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say $1,000.
And to me, that's peak comedy. You were watching Sunny. My favorite episode of Sunny is when Matt comes out as gay to his dad. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, that's beautiful actually. The
When he
ending,
does the
like,
interpretive dance,
yeah.
that's the best joke they ever did because it's so genuinely good. Like it's I've never seen interpretive dance where I was like, oh, this is good and meaningful. That was the first time, and I was like, that's so funny. I couldn't even laugh. I was just like speechless.
In the setting of like a prison and all the prisoners are like crying, like it's so emotionally devastated by the thing. Oh my god, it's brilliant.
And Frank at the end, he's like, I get it.
Frank at the end, he's like, I get it. He with his fucking, fucked up face.
And it's exactly what Mac described too. When he was trying to explain his feelings and he couldn't get it out, he had all those things in it. And like I said, I've never seen interpretive dance that I thought was good. And it was so
very
good.
Poignant too, Rob Mac. I don't know how to fucking say his last name. His mom are lesbians.
Oh, I did not know that.
So it's like that subject is like very personal to him.
I honestly had no idea. Did you know he's married to Dee?
Yep. Yep.
And Charlie's married
And,
to the
and
waitress.
yep. And did you know that when Dee was pregnant and had a baby, in the show
Yeah.
when she was coming out of the hospital and they showed the baby, and I
Is that
think
really her
that was
baby?
their actual I think that was actually their baby, and they showed Max for no reason because Mac has no connection to Dee, but they showed Max like genuine like reaction to seeing his fucking firstborn son or daughter or whatever.
Oh, I wonder if the joke was supposed to be that like he's just really sensitive for the show's like
I
optics.
don't think that was a joke. I think that was just like sincerity. I think that was just like just put the beautiful,
I
thing
never
here.
considered if she was actually pregnant or not. No, that's
Yeah,
actually a
she
pretty
was legit
fun
pregnant.
fact.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Sunny's probably one of my favorites of all time.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, they try to do a Russian adaptation of Always
Yeah,
Sunny.
it's always sunny in Moscow. Yes. Didn't it make it a
I
couple
never watched
seasons?
it. I don't think it did. I think it made one season. Fucking
Oh,
canceled it. But I always thought about that format, that show being very, very good to be adapted like into other countries, because like that type of humor where they're always like fast talking and talking over each other, that's like kind of hard to follow subtitled. So you'd have to like adapt it. You'd have to like make like your own thing with like similar characters in like a different city. And I think a show like that, something like that, could be really successful if done correctly.
pardon. Yeah, you need somebody who's actually really. I feel like Dennis is the one who's the most normal, even though he's probably
I would
actually
say
a
he's
serial
the most
killer
normal.
out of all of them.
Wait, you mean the actor Dennis or?
No. The character out of everybody else, like Charlie is actually retarded. Frank is legitimately insane.
I'd say
Mac,
Dean's the most normal. She's just mean. Dennis is like a psychopath.
um, well, D is like legitimate. Dennis is crazy, but I think in my head, I feel like I always think that he's like gone crazy because of his exposure to them. And D is like she is like the epitome of like a narcissistic personality disorder. Her and Dennis both. Her and Dennis both.
That's your headcanon because he
Dennis
was
tries to
he,
mask his.
no, that's your headcanon because there was a bit where he like, oh no, he like kept a file on D that started when he was 5.
I don't remember that. It's really good.
Then she's in the therapist's office and they're going through like the papers, and the therapist asks like, why are the first pages in crayons? And she's like, I started my file on D when I was 5.
That's pretty good. I feel
Yeah.
like that doesn't really map onto the past episode they showed, but I understand.
Oh no, of course, because all the characters, flanderized over time, and became more like exaggerated.
Yeah, they were all super
That's just,
normal.
like most shows. Yeah,
Um,
COVID or something, man. You good?
I had the flu in November and I'm still not all better. I had like the
Jesus.
actual flu, not like I have a cold. Like I was in bed with like having fever dreams and it was fucked up. I couldn't get out of bed for like a week. And then I had to stop streaming for like a week and a half because my voice was gone from coughing.
Fuck, that's rough. Yeah, people forget the fucking flu exists. Like,
Yeah, I had
you
COVID
can get it.
and I recovered faster from COVID than the flu.
That's I think that's pretty unusual.
I also didn't get my flu shot. I did have a COVID vaccine and I got Paxlovid for COVID too.
Nice.
You guys,
Yeah.
you guys get Paxlovid in Argentina?
I don't think so. I've never seen it.
Oh shit, it's a miracle drug. That's when I stopped being worried
Really?
about COVID. Yeah, you take it for
I
5
stopped being
days.
worried about COVID when. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go on.
Oh, I was just gonna say what you take it for 5 days and it like reduces your chance of being hospitalized by like 80%.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's it's like it's not a cure, but like it's what we're looking for.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's not being worried about COVID. When the what's it called? You know, when it became less severe. You know, when it mutated over time and became
Oh, to like
less. You
Omicron?
know, yeah, exactly.
It's
When
like
it became
Delta
like
was
more
peak.
infection, when it became more infectious but like less deadly. You know, because I was never like that worried for me personally. I was worried, about my grandma. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm 35. I'm overweight and I have asthma. And I only vape now, but I was a smoker for like 28 years. So I was pretty worried.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm germophobic
Yeah.
already.
Fair. Did you
I'm
ever do the
germophobic from getting the flu when I
disinfect?
was a kid.
Did you do the disinfecting your groceries?
Yes.
Did you fall into? Ooh,
Yes. Dog.
yeah.
Before COVID or anything, I was the reason why we had 3 different hand sanitizers like strategically throughout the store that I worked at. My first job was McDonald's, and I got in
Honestly,
trouble for sanitizing too much because people didn't like the smell.
there's a joke here. Like the best thing about COVID was the proliferation of hand sanitizer. There's like a bit there somewhere.
Uh, I think the best part of COVID was not having to deal with fucking people anymore. I stayed in my house for a year. I didn't leave for a whole year.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah. I'm really scared of dying from lung stuff. You grew up with asthma and
Mm-hmm.
allergies like I did. I was sick all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to die drowning in your own lungs. It's scary. Obviously, I haven't
Wait,
died.
you had asthma and you were scared of lung stuff and you were a smoker? Like
Yeah, I didn't say I was smart
you, you had a death wish?
when I was early teen, you know. I basically got rid of my asthma too.
Okay.
I was in great shape. So smoking didn't really seem to phase me. I didn't have to have an inhaler on me anymore, ever. Um, and then I just brought it back by ruining my lungs. I'm fucking stupid, dude. I was like 17 years old. I started like smoking weed and having sex and drinking. So
Mm-hmm.
naturally I was gonna smoke cigarettes too. I was stupid.
Yeah. I never touched
I
this
didn't do
stuff.
any of that stuff when I was like 13, 14, 15, 16, like everyone else did. So I was like making up for lost time.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, fair
Now
enough.
I'm
I
chill.
think cigarettes are
They're
uh
stupid.
yeah, it's a stupid thing to start smoking
Yeah.
cigarettes, but like there's a silver lining cigarettes,
The people
which
that are stupid
is
enough to smoke die.
no,
What's
no.
that?
You get a 5 minute break from work.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
and and there's a social aspect where you can mingle with your
yes.
coworkers and your bosses and your stuff and
I made a lot of good
there's like
social
office
connections by
politics and stuff
smoking.
like that. Absolutely. That's why I always went out with the smokers without smoking. I
That's
just went out
smart.
to like get out of the room and get out of the club and hang out with other people and inhale their secondhand smoke and get worse lung damage. And is it true, by the way? Is a secondhand smoke is worse than
No, that's
directly
stupid.
smoking?
So, like, if you were to take in secondhand smoke at the rate at which a smoker's taking in firsthand smoke, maybe, but you're taking in less.
Maybe if you're hotboxing cigarettes in your car.
Yeah, but then the smoker's still getting it worse.
Yeah, yeah, I
Um,
guess.
what is it? It's also one of the best things for me was if you're ever in a bad social situation, you can leave by saying you're gonna go have a cigarette too.
True.
So like if
Mm,
somebody's like if the
that's clever.
situation's just like not great, we're like, all right, I'm gonna go have a smoke, and then just leave.
You
Fuck
could
that, I'm
you
out.
could always yeah you could always pull the old Irish exit.
I don't know what that is.
You just walk out.
Oh,
Don't say anything.
dog. I used to know this guy. Back in the day, I used to sell weed, and this guy would come over once in a while and buy weed from me, and we called him Crazy Josh, because Crazy Josh was fucking insane. And
What a
outside of
character.
him being like a legitimate like crazy guy, the most unnerving thing that he would do is be like, "I think I'm gonna leave soon." I'm like, all right, man, no biggie. And then like we just continue to talk, and he just get up and like bolt for the door, and he was always so unnerving. Like, "Dude, what the fuck?" It's like somebody popping out and scaring you levels of unnerving. It's so weird.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, the day that I met him, I was having a party at my house and he was telling a story about they called the cops on him because he climbed up a tree and refused to come down until his pastor came and explained to him, why God existed. Not like how, but why.
Why?
Yeah. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. It was how, not why. Because like religious people talk about why God exists all the time, but like, how? I want to know the mechanics here, or I'm not getting out of this fucking tree.
That's a deep question. What did they say?
I don't know.
How do you fucking
I
get him
bet they
down?
fucking tased his ass, dude. He's wild.
Jesus.
Yeah, my buddy who invited him, I was like, dude, he's like making everybody upset. What the fuck's going on with this guy, dude? I'm like, am I gonna have to like literally physically toss him out of my house? He's no, 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 man, he's cool. And then like later he tells me, he's like, first time I met him, he took a butcher knife out of the kitchen and chased somebody's car trying to slash their tires. I'm like, why the fuck did you invite him to my house, dude? What the fuck? Are you serious? What is your
They're wild,
criteria
man.
for like good party guests?
Yeah, it's an entertainment party, as it is. You know, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I never invited him again, but I would just run into him because I lived out in the boonies.
What's the booties?
I lived out in the middle of nowhere, like the thumb of Michigan,
Oh,
and it's a lot like
oh
living in
no.
the South. Like everybody knows everybody. I lived in a 1 square mile town with 11 churches in it.
Damn.
Yeah, it
A lot
was
of
weird.
churches.
It was really weird being like in high school, being one of the only non-Christian kids.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't very fun.
Yeah.
And like the
Yeah, I
Christian
can
kids would get to
imagine.
leave to do like prayer stuff outside by the flag, and I'm just like, well, I want to get out of school, but I'm not doing that. It's a smoker
Mm.
situation all over again.
Yeah, true. You could be like, I'll go with you, and I'll meditate. I won't pray. I don't do that gay shit.
I was actually
Yeah,
openly
yeah.
a Satanist then.
Oh wow, you had that phase.
Yeah, I still think that it's like one of the best religions
It's a
philosophy wise.
it's a statement, right? I mean, it's like
No, there's a real
in a way.
religion. But it's not
There's the
devil
Church of
worshiping.
Satanism.
Yeah,
No,
that's
yeah,
the
they're
church.
like edgy atheists, right?
Actually, Satanism does not put any requirements on any deities you do or don't believe in. It doesn't care. But if you're a Christian, you're probably not going to mesh well.
Well, yeah.
It's like,
How do you reconcile worshiping the embodiment of evil?
oh, it's you. Satan is literally a figurehead to piss off Christians. So like he's like a symbol for like anti conformity and to like do your own thing. Because it's the antithesis of
Interesting.
like Christianity, which so like the guy who founded it, he played the organ for the carnival on Saturdays, and he also played the organ for the church. And he'd see the same people who'd be like cheating on their wives and getting drunk and doing fucked up shit come into
Yeah,
church on Sunday, the day after, and asking for forgiveness and confession. And just like, what a bunch of
yeah,
fucking hypocrites.
yeah. No,
Uh,
I totally understand why people like you know, go into that, especially like gay people too. I mean, like the Lil Nas X, you know,
is
his
he actually a
like
Satanist?
music video. No, I don't think so. But
Oh, sure.
he did that music video where he gave like the devil a lap dance. That's like a statement, you know, or, you know, probably all the homophobia and you know coming from religion that he suffered under. So
Yeah,
it's like,
that
yeah,
makes
fuck you.
sense.
Yeah, you tell me I'm going to hell. Fuck it. I'll shoot a music video in hell and give the devil a lap dance. Fuck you. That was his statement.
Uh,
I respect it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because it's really is like just recognizing that humans are animals and we shouldn't like deny that part of ourselves and pretend that we're better than that. Uh,
Mm.
that's like
Should
a
we
big part
strive
of
to be
it.
better? Should we
So
strive to be better than animals, not fall into our animalistic instincts?
that there's a difference between accepting it and also trying to do better than denying it. The way that like so like the idea is that Christians act like they're like divinely placed here by God and we're just better. We're not like that, but we are like that. So when we have situations where it's not appropriate to act like an animal, there is something that we're fighting. There is something that we're resisting. And it's important to acknowledge that. So
Yeah.
like the
Okay.
Christian golden rule would be to treat others as you would like to be treated. The Satanist golden rules treat others as you would like to be treated until you meet them. Then treat them as good as they've treated you. So like don't let people walk all over you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good footnote to add to that. Yeah, to the Bible. There, you know. Don't be a doormat. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think that is better. That's why I like the other one better.
Yeah. But I think
Um,
you should. I don't know. Like people, it, if someone like grows up in like a conservative homophobic environment or like a Muslim environment or that's like how they developed. It's not really their fault that they're bigoted, is it? I mean, sure they can break away from the mold, but that's like
yeah,
really fucking difficult when the entire world societal pressure is pushing you in a certain direction. So like I think it is important to like understand and have empathy on that level. Like who's that black fellow who like deconverts KKK members?
oh yeah, yeah. I know you're talking
Um,
about. I think it's Daryl something.
yeah, Daryl Davis.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So like that type of in a certain level, I mean, he has to suck it up and take a lot of disrespect, but he is de-radicalizing racists.
Yeah,
He's
it's
kind of
understanding where people are at is really important. I had a discussion with somebody about the Vosh and Mr. Grill conversation, and they brought up slavery. Um, and one of the things I tried to express to the guy who was watching it with me is that you got to understand a lot of people in the South, they literally don't have the ability to like not accept slavery. They've been raised with it. It's just what they think. They literally think that black people aren't people. This is what they actually believe. So like your arguments, like if you try to like rationalize with them, like what's actually going on here, that you're imprisoning human beings and like beating the shit out of them, making them work for you, it's not going to land. They just don't have the capacity to
yeah,
understand this. They weren't far enough with their like science and understanding yet. And I mean, we still have people today that do understand that and don't care. But I'm speaking about them as a whole. I think a lot of them are just like indoctrinated and misguided rather than evil.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, it's
People
a
don't like that
sad
word though,
mistake.
indoctrination.
Yeah. I mean, are we all a little? I mean, most of us are a little indoctrinated, right, by our environment, our
Yeah.
culture.
I mean, dude, I'm an agnostic, polyamorous vegan. I see indoctrination fucking everywhere, okay?
Damn, you got the triple threat.
The Holy Trinity, if you will.
The whole Trinity. Nice.
Yeah, so like I think a lot of things that people like strongly believe are just like ideas that dead people made up and they're just still rolling along with it without a single thought to the contrary. But I also think they can't help it.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't. I think most people aren't that introspective.
Yeah, that's a big problem. People don't examine themselves like at all. They're just correct. That freaks me out.
Hmm.
Like the idea of me being like that terrifies me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's why I try to get a very, very like media diet. Like I like to watch Jon Stewart. I like to watch Trevor Noah. I watch Tucker Carlson. Sometimes Ben Shapiro. Destiny. I try to take in a little bit of everything and actually like try to hear them out.
Yeah,
Um,
that's really
but
good.
yeah.
I had to program my algorithm to give me right-leaning media about COVID because when COVID happened, I consumed everything. Um, and
Hmm.
I wanted to know both sides. I didn't want to just hear what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear contrary thought, but
Yeah,
just critically
but we
thinking seemed
weren't
to fail
allowed.
on one side pretty heavily.
Yeah, we weren't really allowed to question um certain things early on. That was very strange, but I understand kind of. I mean, it was people were very fucking scared. It was a scary time,
Yeah, I was terrified. Like
especially early on.
I read so much about it that in April, I told my wife, I was like, oh, they're going to use corticosteroids to treat people. And then in June, they finally started treating people with corticosteroids. Like, I am not I have no background in like medical science or anything, but I've just read so much information that I was like, this has to be the case.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember when work from home started in my office.
Sick.
They told us, yeah, still in place, pretty based. But they told us like we're gonna leave the office and we're gonna be back in 2 weeks. And I told everyone, see you next year.
Yeah.
See you next. We're not coming back, guys. It's gonna be a while. And I told everyone that I was fucking right. I mean,
Oh, people were blind to COVID until things got shut down.
People were lied to prevent like you know mass hysteria, like to prevent like a fucking you know
There's a documentary you should watch called Completely Under Control. And the people who made it are like really well accredited filmmakers, and it shows how the Trump administration deliberately misled people. For it wasn't. It doesn't seem like it was to prevent mass hysteria. It was for political capital. Because for the beginning of COVID, it worked out really well for Trump politically. It wasn't
yeah,
until we had a bunch of
yeah,
bodies that it like turned out
true.
pretty bad. But even in December, before it got here, I was like, this is going to be a pandemic. And I was telling people, my wife and I went to a concert like 3 weeks before it came to our state. And I was like, this is like the last thing we're going to get to do like this for a long time. And like, she didn't think I was crazy. She's like, yeah. And I know she didn't like really believe that. And it was.
Yeah.
All of our summer concerts got shut down. We had like 6 concerts we were supposed to go to, none of them.
Oh my god, I remember one of my bosses was planned a vacation like right when shit was going down, and they went to Brazil,
Mm,
and the borders shut down,
yeah,
and
she stayed in
she
Brazil.
stayed in Brazil for a bit. Yeah.
Extended vacation, I guess.
Yeah. Fucking yeah. Locked in your fucking hotel.
I
Yeah.
and
Even
the
my
bad part
dad
about that was, oh, go ahead.
like my dad uh he flew to Venezuela at one point. Flew back for like for a lot of reasons, but I won't get into it. But they made him stay at like a hotel for like 2 weeks with all the other people who like were on the flight before he was able to go home. I think that happened in a lot of countries. I think that was
It made me
yeah.
happy I didn't travel ever. I'm trying to see where you're at in relation to other countries. I'm so bad
Where
with
Argentina's at.
yeah.
I'm like to the east of you.
I know that I know where it's at there, but I was seeing like what's around you.
You know,
Like it,
people think South America. People think South America is like it's like a straight line,
Central
like the
America.
American continent. No, no, like all of the American continent. Like a lot of people think that like it's like North America, Central America, South America, but it's really
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
North America,
Boom,
Central
boom.
America, then like South America, like on the right a little bit.
Yeah, that part I did know. I knew pretty well. Argentina's like one of the bigger countries, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge,
That's what I
huge.
thought.
I think it you could fit like most of Europe
And
here.
like Brazil's got you guys beat, and that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty sure.
Uh,
It'd
you
be
fit
like
most of
that.
Europe in there. You can fit Europe in Michigan, dude.
Fucking fair. Fucking
Um,
fair.
I thought,
But hey, let me hype up Argentina a little bit. We have a fucking beautiful, beautiful, varied landscape. Like if you look at like people, always jerk off over like the Alps and like, um European travel and stuff like that. Like look at pictures of Bariloche, look at pictures of like Mendoza, like the countrysides are it's the same if not more beautiful. And like fucking 20 times cheaper because like they destroyed the economy. But it benefits tourists.
you're
Yeah, I don't know
basically
why more
describing
people aren't.
Michigan. It's beautiful, but yeah, that's the only reason why people choose to live here is that it's pretty. But you
But
guys
wait,
also
it
have the
sucks
weather.
otherwise. Yeah, yeah, weather exists.
I mean, you guys, it's warm there all the time.
No, no, not in Argentina.
No, I
No,
guess it would
we have
depend on where you're
seasons.
at, huh?
No, we're in the southern hemisphere, so like our seasons are inverted, like Australia and New Zealand.
I see. I thought,
So
isn't?
like right now it's summer.
Oh, weird.
Yeah,
I guess I just
it'd
thought
be
you were
like
closer to
that.
the equator. But I have honestly, I'm so bad with
But it's like that in Venezuela.
geography.
It's like it's always summer in like the Caribbean.
Okay, yeah, I guess you guys are a little bit further than.
it's always sunny in Venezuela. It's always
Yeah.
sunny in Venezuela.
You guys get blizzards
But
and shit?
blizzards. No, it doesn't
Okay.
snow in Buenos Aires. It snowed 3 times in Buenos Aires ever.
Oh,
Um, and the last time was in 2007, and people freaked the fuck out because the previous time was like in the 60s.
oh, okay. All right, yeah,
I've
we
never
get
seen snow, by
blizzards.
the way.
Oh, it can be cool. Like having snowball fights when you're a kid is like pretty cool thing to do, or building snow forts.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
like it's like really beautiful and stuff. But as I got older, I realized I was like, oh, it's just death. That's what snow is. It's white death that falls from the sky that kills everything that can't figure out how to deal with it. And even like humans too, driving in the ice,
That's a good
like
bit.
it's death.
Yeah, true.
But it's so
True.
pretty. It really is. Also,
Yeah.
I was out in the snow a lot before. Like you'll get suntan from it, just like the sun reflecting off. The sun's brutal when it comes to snow. It'll blind
Oh,
you.
really?
Yeah, yeah. You
I
can
didn't
still
know
get
that.
a tan in the cold. Is that water?
That is water.
That looks like a liquor bottle.
It's plastic, dude. I guess
We have
it's
plastic liquor bottles. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just water. Did you? You hadn't seen it. I did a bit once when I first went on Chud Logic stream. There was like a meme. There was like a guy who like debated Dylan Burns, and he was like he's an alcoholic, and he was like drinking whiskey like straight from the bottle as he's like
Oh.
slurring his words and debating Dylan, and it was really cringe. And Chud was like making fun of that. And I went on his stream. I got a bottle of a vodka. I emptied it out and filled it with water. And went on his
Nice.
stream. And went on his stream and turned on my camera and just chugged the whole fucking bottle.
You're not allowed to do that anymore.
I think Dylan was there too, and his eyes widened. It was fucking so funny. And
Yeah, you'd make
and
me
I fu-
nervous.
They had to delete the VOD. It's so funny. Yeah, I never told them it was water. No, wait, I told them it was water, but then I thought of a better joke. I should have said, don't worry, it's not vodka, it's gin.
Yeah.
I should have said that.
Uh,
Hindsight,
yeah. When you said that too, I was like, is he gonna say it's rum?
Mm.
But gin. Well, gin's nastier to chug, but
Yeah. I used to not like gin, but I'm more
don't.
monotone. I warmed up to gin and tonics.
I'm a whiskey guy. If I'm gonna drink, I like whiskey, or I like whiskey on the rocks, or I like rum and coke.
Not a beer guy.
I can appreciate a beer, but I like heavy lagers. Like I like Heineken. Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
When I was like 19, 20, 21, I would drink Steel Reserve, which tastes like somebody took a great lager and put a shot of cheap vodka in it. It's awful. It's the worst thing in the whole world.
Yeah,
Never
that's awful.
ever again. But
Yeah,
now I'm
then
just
as well-
like, I want something to taste good. I'll drink like the Reds apple beers. Those are good.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. Yeah, in
makes
in the
sense.
Caribbean and Venezuela is a lot of beer drinkers because it's always hot, it's always sunny. Yeah, it's a way to take the heat off, take the how do you say and English. There are a lot of words that I like. If I'm having a conversation, sometimes like there's some words that I know in Spanish that I don't know in English, and it fucks me up. Like,
Are you like
like-
fluent bilingual?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fluent in both, but there's like some, if I'm like having a conversation, like sometimes like I'll know like the Spanish word for something and the English word of it will just slip my mind.
You have zero accent whatsoever, so I just assumed you natively spoke English, like you were raised in an English household.
Muchas gracias. No, no. It's I grew up in Florida when I was a little
Oh,
kid,
okay.
so I
So do
went
you
to
have
a
an English
bilingual
accent when
school.
you speak Spanish?
Do I have an English accent when I no, I have a completely Spanish accent. I actually
Okay.
have a weird Spanish accent because I grew up in Florida in a melting pot. All of my bilingual teachers were like from different countries. So I developed this kind of like weird like neutral kind of like a mix of different
I was gonna say, do you
regional
have a Cuban
accents.
accent then?
Yeah, so yeah, I had a, like a little bit of a Cuban like there were like Cuban words that I would say like zafacon instead of like garbage. So like when I went back to Venezuela, our visas expired, so we left the U.S. and went back to Venezuela. And when I went back to Venezuela, everyone thought I was from another country because I didn't have a Venezuelan accent.
So I was gonna ask if you got shit for it.
Yeah, I got shit for it, of course.
Yeah, how do
It's
people take jokes in Venezuela?
oh, people are fucking ruthless. We're fucking ruthless. Like savage bullies. Like it's kind of excessive to be honest, but it's like it's the culture, and it hardens people in a way, because like people like will nickname each other like if you have an overweight friend, you just go hey fatso, and he
Dude,
won't take it the wrong way. That's just his nickname.
my roommate's overweight, and when I go to call him for something, like, "Hey, you fat fucking bitch, you want some dinner?" Like that's just how we talk to each other, and it's like
Yes.
it's endearing.
Mm-hmm.
And be like if something
Yep.
bad happened, and one of us tells the other one, be like, "Oh, fucking kill yourself." Like that's just how
Yep.
we talk to each other, but we mean it like we wouldn't say that to somebody that we didn't care about.
Of
Like if I
course.
if
Of
I
course.
if I like actively hated somebody, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Of course.
I don't. I feel like the people that are like trying to shut down joke telling don't understand what they're losing.
Yeah. Yeah. Truly. My mission is when I see like a really preachy, like obnoxious person on Twitter, is to ask them like, "Hey, what's the most fucked up joke you've ever laughed at?" Just so I see like the hypocrisy, because there are people that will like shit on Dave Chappelle,
Yeah,
and they love Cumtown when they've done like jokes that are like a million times more offensive than anything Dave Chappelle has ever said. But
yeah.
they get a pass, I guess, because they're lefties.
I really
It's
like challenging
I
people
don't
that
know.
take themselves a bit too serious. I think I talked about it yesterday. I worked with this chick who was like a really big third wave feminist. Whenever she was grouchy, I'd ask her if she's on her period. Um,
Oh Jesus!
but like uh,
They're trying to get fired.
once in a while, she would get mad, but like she appreciated me for it. I tried to knock her down like a peg or two to get her to see that she's being a bit more serious than she needs to be when we're working in a fast food restaurant. And
Okay.
we're still
Oh,
friends to
it's a
this
fast
day.
food restaurant. Okay, that's a different culture. I was thinking like an office environment would be
No, no, no,
pretty
no.
fucking inappropriate.
No, it's like where everybody's like moving fast and we're stressed out and
Yeah,
stuff. And
yeah,
so,
yeah. That's like kitchen culture.
yeah, so it's just like, like take a step back, breathe, maybe not take, like you're not dealing with all the world's problems right now, Danielle. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's take a breath and like, let's kind of chill out. And like I said, I've been friends with her for like 12 years now. Um, and I think that that's good for people. When people are too serious and they're too into their own shit to like kind of poke fun at it so they can see how ridiculous they're being.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of
That's
fucked up
perfect.
shit out there, and we should try to do something about it. But when it becomes your entire personality, when you can't even take a joke, when you know somebody's
Hmm.
joking, like what are you doing to yourself? Like
Yeah, you're
what are you
just like
becoming? You're turning into somebody who's just as hateful as the people you're mad at.
yeah, you're just like forcefully making yourself less happy for like no good reason,
Yeah, and you're
less
not going to be
joyful
as
for no good
effective.
reason.
Yeah, angry people aren't good at changing people's minds. Kind people are.
Yeah. And funny people are the best at changing people's minds.
Yeah, that was one of when I was talking to my buddy Kiev Weird in that video clip I sent you. One of the things I tried to get across to him is that comics, like really good comics, the best comics, have always had a way of reframing social issues to show a truth that's outside of the mainstream narrative of it. Because he
Mm-hmm.
said that like this isn't like you don't have to do. I was like, well, sure, you don't have to be a comic, but all the great ones did, and they were great for a reason. Because when you're laughing at
Mm-hmm.
something, um, you have your guard down. You ever watch House, MD?
Oh yeah, great show. Great
One of the
show.
things that I think that gets across really well is that people don't care if you're right if you're an asshole. So like he would tell people the truth about something and they would reject him right away because he's a fucking dick. If you want people to understand something that's contrary to what they already believe, you got to sneak it past them. And jokes is a great way to do that.
Yes.
Like Carlin really helped me
Absolutely.
understand the world and probably pushed me further to the left than maybe anything else has.
This is precisely why I advocate for more comedians and politics. I mean, that's Trump, right? Trump's like a fucking kind of doing stand up in a way. Just
Dude,
shitting on people, roasting his opposition, and
uh,
getting laughs.
yeah, and I think that's what the right's identifying with. Like they don't like politicians, and Trump's not a politician. He's making fun of the people that they fucking hate, and
Mm-hmm.
but politicians just can't. They don't know how to deal with that. If they
Yeah,
shoot back, then they look bad to their base. But people who like Trump fucking love that shit. That's like what they like about him.
exactly. Yeah, true.
He should have just been a stand up comedian instead. Did you seen the
uh,
Shane Gillis special?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I loved
Hi-
it.
His best bit in that was like Trump actually suggested that we nuke a hurricane. He was like, "Oh, you got a big storm coming? Like, what if we nuke it?" They're like, "What the fuck are you talking?" He's like, "Oh no, man, I fuck around. It's what I do." That was like his whole presidency in that like one sentence. I fuck around, man. It's what I do. He had no clue the whole time. He didn't have a fucking clue what he was doing. He just said shit.
Yeah,
You can't hear the criticism if you're always running your fucking mouth.
yeah. He fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
He was God. What an important figure. What a fucking Jesus Christ.
It's
I can't
scary,
believe
man. I
it's a cult, like legit, like MAGA. It's
yeah.
do you know the subreddit QAnon especially? Have you seen the subreddit Lost to QAnon, something like that?
No, lost to.
Yeah, it's like stories of like people fucking losing their family members because they go down these like
Oh.
rabbit holes
I
and just
googled
like
it and
become a
there's tons
shell
of
of themselves.
very sad headlines.
It's the saddest fucking stories because people just fall down these rabbit holes and of misinformation and they're just they just
I hate it.
it rots their brains.
Um, I I'm a pre-Trump conspiracy theory guy because there's a lot of things that are out there that like you can bring pretty legitimate points up. There's things that do have evidence to them. And like it's not like we'll just think about it like no like here's the evidence as to why I think about this like is this 100% conclusive proof? No, but there's more evidence to suggest this happened in the official
Wait,
story,
I'm not following you.
this
What do you
kind of
mean you're
thing.
a pre-Trump
So
conspiracy guy? I don't understand that.
before Trump started running and before like QAnon was a thing, I was big into conspiracy theories then because back then, if you wanted to open your mouth and talk to somebody about a conspiracy theory, you had to have shit prepared. You had to be able to back your shit up. You couldn't just say do your own research. Nobody would accept that ever. And now,
Mm-hmm.
like all these conspiracy theories, when I see them, I'm like, there's nothing here though. There's literally nothing here. Like if you want to
Yeah.
talk about 9/11, there's a lot of really valid points you can bring up that says that the official report isn't good. The fact that every single person who was a part of it could say, I don't want that in there, and they would take it out. Um, the commission report doesn't talk about building 7. There's like a lot of really weird things that are very interesting to talk about.
Mm.
However, if you look at anything that's been like in the last 5 years, there's like literally nothing you can point to suggest when somebody's saying something like 5G and COVID. I argued with one of my friends. I'm like, dude, give me something. Like, help me help you here. Give me fucking anything. He linked me a website, and in the website, they're trying to sell you the solution. Like, you can buy this stuff to get rid of the 5G poisoning or whatever. I'm like, dog, come on,
Oh
help
my
me
God.
out. So like, I think that like the biggest conspiracy that's out there right now is that there there's so many conspiracies being pushed so that when the government does do something shady, you'd have no idea because it's in the mix of all this batshit crazy stuff that is impossible to
Mm-hmm.
believe. No rational person could look at it and even take it seriously, and it's depressing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I
And if
follow that
you
logic. That
and
makes
if you
sense.
have like a legitimate criticism, you're gonna get grouped in. It's like the word conspiracy theorist was originally put out there. Uh, it got put into print for the first time through a government publication, and it was to discredit people that criticized the CIA. But
Oh, I didn't know that.
now it's like that plan fully in effect. It super works. If somebody's a conspiracy theorist now, it just means somebody who's actually fucking insane.
Yeah. Flat earthers.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. And like, so like, I can't talk about anything that I think isn't like officially or like lines up with the official story because flat earthers, election deniers, COVID deniers, anti-vaxxers, all these people who can't bring any information to validate what they're saying whatsoever. Like
Mm-hmm.
I immediately get grouped into them, and then people's brains will just shut off. It's very, very,
Yeah.
very effective to rational people to not listen to anything anybody says that goes against like what's officially being put out, and it's depressing. So like I said, I'm a pre-Trump conspiracy theorist because like I would really look into. I wouldn't buy into something without any evidence or reason to believe in it. But that's gone. We're way past that now. All you have to do is
Mm-hmm.
like not like the government, and then say, "Well, think about it." That's it. That's all. That's all they got,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is pretty scary.
Sometimes I go on our conspiracy just for like a laugh. Just because people are saying the most insane shit there. It's hilarious.
I believe it. I didn't think it was that bad. Do you know who Will and his channel is?
Yeah.
He did a long thing about flat Earth, and this guy who's like a conspiracy guy there. Um, I was talking to him about flat Earth, and I talked about like phase shifting, how we can tell where we're at, and he's just like, at one point, he's like, "Dude, you believe in gravity?" I'm like, "What?" And then he basically said the sun's not real, and I'm like, "Dog, I don't know what to do here." Like, we're
Yeah, there's
denying the most fundamental elements of reality at this point. I don't know how to talk to you.
no they're you can't. They're too far gone at that point. If you believe if you're at that point, you're just too far gone. It's sad.
Right.
I don't know. But wait. Given eternity, do you think you can convince a flat earther that the earth is round? Just run
Um,
like a million experiments, give him every concession, like every give him full control of his experiments, give him everything. Do you think do you think there's a way?
there's an easy solution. There's a super easy solution. See, here's $20 million in a film crew. I want you to go to the edge of the earth and film it. We've bought you the clearance. You can go to Antarctica. Go do it. Prove to everybody what you know is true
Yeah,
and see
show
what
us the ice
happens.
wall.
Yes.
I'd
It's
love to
just
see the ice wall.
it's just like the guy who started anti-vaxxing. Somebody offered him a ton of money to prove his findings, like millions of dollars, and he didn't take it. Why? Because he's full of shit.
Damn,
He's the guy who started the whole thing because his
that's
anti-vax thing
wild.
was the it's like rubella, measles, and mumps, RMM vaccine. He said that
Mm-hmm.
this is causing autism, but coincidentally, he's also a producer of uh like one or two of the shots separate outside of the three vaccines in one. How about that? So if you believe him that this vaccine causes autism, your only alternative is to buy his vaccines. Isn't that convenient? And so somebody's like, millions of dollars for your research. We want to get this out to the people. Well, I'm busy. Who has time to make millions of dollars?
You know that there are a lot of parallels to like modern day conspiracy theories and like the Nigerian email scams to like where like they make them as stupid as possible, you know, as badly spelled as possible, so they only bait in like the stupidest people. You know,
Yeah.
are you familiar with that's like their methodology, so they
Yeah.
can weed out like people who are gonna be like, oh, this is a scam, so they can only get the people that are like stupid.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that drives me the craziest. Like, so like the anti-COVID people. I actually read a short story on my Substack where the premise was that there is a cabal, a small group of people that actually call the shots, and they want to kill people. So what they do is they convince a bunch of people that the COVID vaccine isn't good for you and that it'll kill you, so that they'll get COVID and fucking die. If you don't trust the government, why is it that it has to be going with the way that you already want it to be? Why couldn't it be that you're actually the target? You're not actually that smart enough to outsmart them, and you're going to be the one that's the victim of it. Like, if you think if like your baseline assumption is that like they're out to get
Jesus
people,
Christ.
and you're the ones that they want gone, because odds are if you're anti-COVID you probably have a lot more guns than somebody who's vaccinated. Statistically
Yeah, but
speaking,
like,
this is
why would
true.
you?
Your
It's so
odds are you're
stupid.
going to be
Like,
more
why?
likely to resist the government, so you're the
If the
ones they want
government
dead.
wanted to, if the government wanted to like poison the populace, if they wanted to like, why not put it in like fucking peanuts or something? Like I don't know, like lettuce, like food that
So
you have to eat. Like why would they,
one of the things that I do
be a
believe is that
syringe?
hydrofluoric acid, which is in our water, is really bad for you, and it makes you dumber and more calm.
Really?
Yeah, we have
I've
fluoride
never
in our
heard this
water. If
before.
if I if I were to take like a Dixie cup of hydrofluoric acid and throw it in the lake, I'd go to jail for that. But if they put it in the water, it's okay.
Wait, if you took a Dixie cup, what's a Dixie cup?
Oh, it's like a little paper cup, like this big. Think like a
Oh, your
paper
your
shot
your camera's
glass.
been your camera's been off on my end, by the way.
My what's off?
Your camera's been off
Oh,
on Discord on my end.
oh, I had it set to the wrong one. I'm so sorry. There you go. Now you can see me.
I see
So
your beautiful face, your beautiful blue hat. Ooh, you like Tool? That's face.
I do. Hell yeah, dude.
Metroid. Get all the
Oh yeah, dude.
and
My
finishing
house is like all
Voyager in your
done
room.
up. That's my wife's side. She's got like a One Punch Man and
Oh,
Promise
nice
Neverland, Code Geass. We got all the stuff.
face.
Big nerd house. Even in the kitchen, we got Army of Darkness and a League of Legends poster because we're degenerate.
And you have a dog.
I have 3 dogs. Who did you see? Oh yeah, that's my baby right there. That's my Kiora dog. Hi, Pup.
Aw.
I would kill a man for that dog. The other ones,
Yeah.
we'll see.
You're a full John Wick.
Dude, unironically, if somebody killed my dog, like I'd be ruined.
A man's best friend.
Yeah, I got her when she was 6 weeks old.
Aw. Yeah. Yeah, I lost my dog last year. Really sad.
Oh fuck,
My childhood dog.
I'm really sorry. I'm
It's okay.
certain.
I haven't seen him in 5 years since I left the country. So
Oh,
I just saw him in video chats, but he's getting old. Yeah, it sucks.
I
I
couldn't.
had my the best memories with it, so it's okay.
The I
Everyone
can't
dies.
imagine. I can't imagine. The first time I ever cried in therapy is I told my therapist that I'm worried because my dog's getting older when she turns 6. Not even that like she's
Damn.
sick or anything. She's just getting older, and it fucked me up.
Yeah, dogs are pure, man.
Yes.
They're angels. They're well, some are demons. some are very bad.
This is true. I tell people.
Some should probably be not outlawed, but like cracked down on.
Yeah, well, I think we in the United States we did a good first step, which is making it a felony to for animal cruelty is a felony now.
Base.
which is pretty good. I got shit on
Yeah.
a panel about polyamory when I said I don't think unconditional love for humans is real because people change. They can make decisions that change how you view them, but you can have unconditional love for like a dog because like if my dog bites somebody, my thought isn't like, oh my God, I can't believe she did this. Like, what did you do to my dog? She doesn't have
Yeah.
agency, huh?
Mm.
Like
Hold on.
my dog
I'm
doesn't make
thinking.
decisions. She just sort of reacts to things the way that like the only way she can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So like I know that like if she changes it's because something happened to her. She didn't make a decision to change. But people, they make fucked up decisions all the time that change the way you view how they really are.
What if they get hmm, let me think. What if they get like rabies?
It
Something like
wouldn't
that.
change how I feel, it would just change what my responsibilities are.
Hmm.
It would be a tragedy for what happened to my dog. And I would feel bad for her. I wouldn't like yeah, if she got rabies, like it wouldn't be her fault. I wouldn't put that on her. I'd be
Yeah,
raging
yeah,
against
no.
whoever
You're
allowed
right.
that to happen. Why is my dog in a
Sure.
situation where she could get rabies? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is people get really butthurt about that.
Yeah, yeah. Or you get like tick diseases, you know, shit like that.
Yeah. I didn't ask you in the beginning and I feel bad for it. What's your favorite comic? Who's your favorite comic?
Oh, Norm Macdonald. I
Oh,
think he's
really?
yeah, I think he's a genius.
One of my favorite specials is Hitler's dog.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah, mine
World War
too.
II bit he does in that is so funny. I
It it
still
kills me.
tears every
Yeah.
time. Did you see his show? Norm Macdonald has a show.
Yeah, of course.
I talk to
Every
people
episode.
about this. Either it's the worst show that's ever been made by anybody, or it is so genius that I can barely like I can barely handle how brilliant that show is.
Wasn't there like an SNL producer or something like that, like working on that show? It was
I'm
like
not
a
sure.
really, really high up guy who was like, "Yeah, fucking, of course I'm gonna help you, Norm Macdonald. Of course I'm gonna do your thing, man. I'm with you."
Uh, the first I like if you watch the first episode, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. He has David Spade on, and David Spade's just like, this show's never gonna get released. This is the worst show I've ever been on
Yeah,
in my life.
yes. It makes it so much better. It's so funny. Oh my
Uh,
god.
it is funny, but I'm just always like, how much of this is intentional? I can't fucking tell. Is he like extremely lazy with it, or is he like taking notes every night to make it this genius? Do you think it's genius?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's carefully crafted. I
If
think
that's the case,
the
it's one
whole
of the most brilliant
the
pieces of comedy I've ever seen in my life.
how he ends the shows with the little dance number.
Oh, I thought you meant the telling really fucking terrible jokes off the cue
Oh
card.
no, that of course that's intentional. Yeah, that's but just the whole just everything about the show is just like so well crafted.
If we're gonna go with that it's not super lazy and just bad, then yeah, I have to admit it is one of the smartest um constructs of comedy that I've ever seen. And like by a huge margin. It's brilliant. Also, I keep looking at the painting you have behind you, the SpongeBob. That's amazing.
I commissioned it. Thank you.
Oh, you commissioned that? That's even funnier.
Well, I mean, it's not a painting. It's like
Oh,
a print or whatever. But I got it made for streaming because I just wanted to get on panel and have that dumbass thing in the background. So people are like, "Is that what the fuck is that?"
I actually did get this commission. Ouch. I got a, I got one of these.
Oh, nice. Doodle Bob.
Yeah, I got it for my wife, and then I have we have a Bolden Brash over here.
Oh, I'd love to get a Bolden Brash. Oh, that's gonna be my next. That's gonna be my next thing.
My positive COVID test is on the wall below it. It was
frame.
there because there was a trash can there for like several years, so it was right above the trash.
Nice. It's a statement.
Yeah, more like belongs in the trash. So because you have the stances that you do on comedy, what did you think about people flipping out about Dave Chappelle?
I get it. People are sensitive. People are a bit conditioned to be like very, very sensitive and very, certain people are there's this like sacred cow that you can't joke about. But I think that's really sad because it leaves people out of, being able to riff, being able to, be part of like a um, the universality of comedy where you can take the piss out of anything. Where you can take fucking my friends. I mean, fucking Venezuelan starving jokes. Like I laugh it off. It's gallows humor. I think you can. I think you could joke about just about anything if you do it in the right way. But
Wow.
there's
Ignoring chat said right here. You heard it. Trans people are cows. No.
yes, that's
Um,
exactly what I said.
well, that I think unironically, that's the kind of thing that makes me mad when people, because I feel like somebody could hear you say that and unironically accuse you of trying to make that statement.
Yeah, well, people are. I don't know if it's bad faith or just stupidity, honestly.
I think it's both. I think it starts off as bad faith, but then they repeat it enough to where they start to believe it because they get pats on the back for it.
Who's the best trans comedian? Is there? Let me think. Eddie Izzard, isn't he trans?
Yep.
He's all right.
Eddie Izzard was like pretty edgy for most of his career, her career.
I'd love if she did a special as 20 times as transphobic. Dave Chappelle special. Can you imagine?
Who
Well, not
was that?
transphobic, but just like telling trans jokes, like offensive trans jokes. That would blow people's fucking brains.
They wouldn't know how to fucking deal with it.
No, that would break their brains.
I seen a
Well,
trans comedian.
No, maybe. Actually, to be fair, maybe they'll be like, he's allowed to say it. He's trans.
Yeah, that's what it would be. Which to me is it's like it's like what you were saying. I think the simpler, like dumbed down version of what you said, which I thought you were very good and articulate the way you said it.
Thank you.
But the way that I tend to think of it is, if I can't make fun of you because of how you're different, then I'm emphasizing just how different we are. That's, to me, that's the real cruelty. If somebody if somebody had a good joke about me because I'm fat and they didn't tell it because they didn't want to hurt my feelings, that hurts my fucking feelings. Like, oh, what, we can't fucking roast each other because I'm different? Get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Like the closest black friends that I have, we got really close because I told really good black jokes to them and they fucking loved it.
Well, look at Jewish humor. It's brilliant. Fucking so self-deprecating. So they're masters, man. I mean, they're fucking hilarious.
I used to know an old Jewish guy with like fucked up teeth, and he would make the best jokes like at his own expense, and they were like so fucking good. And like the only thing I could ever come up with, because his jokes were always so good, I had like the worst joke, but like I had to come up with something. Somebody asked him about his coffee. Like, dude, your coffee's always so good. Why is it? I was like, oh, he brews it himself. And that was all I could ever come up with. But I had to try to at least like get there with him,
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's very funny.
That's all I could do. Everything else that would have been like super good and edgy, he fucking beat me to the punch every time. It fucking sucks. But yeah, if I have a friend who's fat, if I have a friend who's black, or if they're gay, like I think that here's the thing. If you tell jokes at other people's expense and you've done nothing at all to show that like you have a good heart towards them, I get it. But like the reason why I don't get in trouble in my social life for it is because people know that I don't think less of them. It's
Hmm.
only funny because somebody who cares about them is saying a terrible thing about them. That's what's funny.
Yeah. It's scary, man. I mean, like, I shy away from like that IRL because like people are very people are very eager to like misinterpret or like you know get offended or and make us think of you know of humor, and it sucks because that can get you in a lot of trouble. And like I have people that depend on me for money, people back home, so I try to be very very very, what's the word,
Responsible.
uh yeah, I guess, yeah, just unfunny.
Uh, yeah, I always like I have to test people at a certain point because like there's a certain point where like how good of a friend can I really be with you? And it's gonna come down to whether or not you can take a joke.
Hmm.
Because I can't be at the office my whole life, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and like people
Although
like you
I will say that is like a American office culture. Argentine office culture. We're we're fucking funny people. We're like we're much less sensitive. I mean, there's like there's like people on the left, on the far left and stuff that will make us think over jokes, but you don't see like people boycotting Harry Potter here. You don't see like any shit like that here at all. People just people are able to make fucked up jokes because yeah, gallows humor. It's like the same thing. People make like military coup jokes, Falkland jokes. Bombing. The military juntas bombing, killing people jokes. It's like that's yeah, that's comedy, man.
uh I agree. You ever see the show The Whitest Kids You Know?
Yes,
They had
that's
a
Trevor Moore's.
yeah,
Was that? Yeah. Oh, he's brilliant. He's rest in peace.
he had a bit where he'd say it's very, very illegal to say I want to
Yes.
kill the president.
That's
He's like, it's very
fucking
illegal to say
genius.
that. Like, I'm allowed to say that because I'm just informing you not to say that. And then like got more and more extreme. I love
Mhm.
that.
He's a fucking genius. He's goddamn.
And
What a
even
loss.
in that show too, like
Flew too close to the sun.
I don't think that's what got him, but
I'm
um
joking. I'm joking.
like even that they had like really, really good racial humor in there and nobody was mad about it. Um it,
No. Yeah.
do you know who Anthony Jeselnik is?
Yeah, I know the name. I've never seen his comedy.
Oh, he was like the king of edgy comedy for a while. He did like a lot of jokes, like dead baby jokes and stuff. The last
Mm.
one he did was like called Fire in the Maternity Ward. But by that point, his comedy was bad to me because it was always too predictable that like the it was like a bait and switch all the time. But he said recently that the true art of comedy is to be able to say something terrible and then get away with it. I'm like, no, motherfucker, you were telling jokes 10 years ago. You just got away with it because people didn't give a shit. Now people are super mad about jokes and all that. Like you can't retroactively say like you were in the same climate and you were just able to skate by. He could never do his comedy today.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the edgiest mainstream comedian? I guess the Come Time guys probably.
David Cross is pretty edgy. I really like him.
Really? I love it. I love him and Bob Odenkirk, but really edgier than Cumtown?
I never actually really listened to Come Town. My buddy told me I need to get on that.
They're. I'll send you. I'll send you some stuff.
Yeah, please do. Cause
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty like divorced from all of it. I didn't even know about it until recently. Uh,
The fact that they named their podcast Cumtown just says it all.
well, they at least if they wanted to be, sure. Jim Jeffries is pretty edgy. Oh, Louis C.K. for sure.
Oh yeah.
And I
Mhm.
love Louis. Louis is like top 3 best comedians of all time to me. He did do fucked up shit, and I don't condone it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I agree.
he
And
he
and
paid. He paid for it. $34 million and had to
yes,
go away for
yes.
like 8 years.
Yeah, and I am still, some apparently a lot of the left doesn't believe in rehabilitation anymore. But I firmly believe in it, and I think I think he should be able to come back after you
Yeah,
know
it's
doing
the
what he
thing that
did.
blows my mind is if you murder somebody and you get out of prison, as far as I know, it's like a lefty stance that you did your time and you should be able to get a job and all that. Like all the programs to get felons into the workplace and all that. These are like leftist positions. They are not the law and order party. However, if you sexually harass someone or like even what Louis did, it's really bad. But he
Yeah, it's
didn't
fucked
like
up.
hold anybody down and rape them. But they want him to be worse than a murderer. Like you can't go back to work ever now.
It was the climate, the Me Too climate as well at the time. It was like,
Sure. Like I said too, I think that something deserved to happen to him, and it did. He wasn't allowed
yes.
to do comedy for like 8 years, and he lost $34 million. I
Mm-hmm.
bet he learned his lesson. Like
Yep.
that'll do it. And if
Sure
not,
did.
then I guess you don't get to do comedy anymore because nobody's gonna forgive you after that. But like, it seems like you learned your
Mm-hmm.
lesson. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
how anybody can aspire to be better if that's like it just seems like you're gonna make people better at hiding their shit then. Oh, Jimmy Carr too. Jimmy Carr's pretty edgy.
Oh yeah, he's an edge lord.
Yeah, I really like him. He's touring right now, so new special soon, I hope.
I've never I've only seen like bits of his on YouTube. I've never seen like a full special.
Oh my god, he's so good. And like he's really good at dealing with hecklers too. Um he has a show in the UK called Roast Battle. They tried to copy it in America. It was okay.
I'm not familiar with that show, but I think UK panel shows are
Mm,
brilliant, brilliant. Would I lie to you? I think is one of the funniest shows in the world.
I've never seen that. I seen the like how some number of cats do and then whatever the game show is.
The rest are okay, but would I lie to you is fucking
Oh wait, no, I
genius.
have seen that. I have seen that. Um
Yeah,
I seen the one where
the David Mitchell and Lee Mack
oh,
are
somebody in my
pitted
chat was
against each
talking about
other.
Lee Mack. Maybe I do know who he is then. Oh, you know what? I think he's the one that put Would I Lie to You into my Discord for my React stream. Now that I think about it. I see one where the story was this kid pranked him by putting a cabbage in his mailbox or something, and the kid kept doing it, and then like he got him back by replacing everything in his room with a cabbage. And it was the truth. They brought the
Like
kid out.
oh my god, the best parts of that show are like when they give, because the show's not serious. Like it's not a serious competition. Who gives a shit about the
Yeah.
points? It's about the comedy. But like they gave him the lie of they gave him like a set of ridiculous keys, different colored keys, and he had to go through each key and explain what each key did in his house
Oh my
that he
god.
lived in. It was
Did
like
anybody buy it?
of course not.
Oh.
But it was because it was just ridiculous. It was like just like 20 keys that he had to go through each. Oh, this is the side back patio key. This is my second deposits garage key. Just it's the stupidest. And oh my god, the best one was they gave him the lie that his ex-girlfriend his ex-girlfriend's initials spelled the name Bermuda. So they had to grill him on like, hey, what was B? Brenda. Okay, Brenda. What was Brenda like? R. Well, who's the R? Regina. And it was just, yeah, it was just, oh my god. I can't do it justice. You have to look up the bit, but it's so funny.
You asked.
He's so brilliant.
Fuck. You asked earlier who's the funniest trans comic, and there is somebody on. There's a new Netflix show, The Stand Ups. She has like a 10-minute set. So fucking hilarious. Oh my god.
Oh, I'll look it up. I'm curious.
She's a Asian trans woman, and she killed it. I know, I'm trying to find out her name, and Google's like absolutely failing me. When I look up Asian trans comic Netflix, I get Shen Wang, who is not trans, but he is hilarious.
I've never seen him. Huh.
Oh, really? You
Well,
might
add to
have.
the list.
He had like a small special in the past. It wasn't anything like too great, but his new special, he's like super long hair, is totally unrecognizable. And he's fucking hilarious. He's really good.
I'll add it to the list.
Yeah, she comes out like really just like super loud and like talks really fast, like somebody with like crippling anxiety. Sabrina Wu, that's her name. And the
Sabrina
whole
Wu.
presentation is phenomenal.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, she's on the first or second episode of Verified Stand Up. That's what it's called.
Verified stand-up.
Yeah, if she doesn't take off, I'll be stunned because she was the best one on there by a mile.
Sabrina Wu. All right, add it to the list.
Oh wait, I think she maybe she's not trans. She's non-binary. Some people call that trans. I don't know if she does or not. They do or not.
I'll be honest. I barely understand that shit.
Well,
I try. I don't want to get in trouble, man.
so it seems like to me that for a while I questioned what I thought it meant because I usually say I'm non-binary, which just means to me like I don't want to be pigeonholed into anything that has to do with gender. Like if I feel like wearing a dress, that's fine. If I want to do like I don't believe that there's when I was raising my kid, I used to always enforce the idea there's no such thing as girls things and boys things. Like to me, ever since I was a kid, gender's always just been made up to me. It just doesn't make any sense. It was a game that adults played that never made any sense to me. And so like
societal impositions, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes like a good example for me is have you ever seen the show Nurse Jackie?
No.
Oh, it's a show about like a nurse who takes oxys. It's kind of like it feels house-ish. And when I watch that, I get feminine as fuck when I'm watching that show, man. Like big time. And like I don't think that my genetics or like my genitals have anything to do with the way that I interact with the world outside of like my sexual feelings. That's about it. I think that's the only time it really impacts me. And so I don't want to deal with anybody's expectations about me based on my sex. Like
Wait, so
keep
you
that
are
away from me.
non-binary?
Yeah, that's what I thought it meant. But I don't consider myself trans. I don't think of it as a struggle. I don't get hung up over like I present myself as a dude. So yeah, you can just call me he or whatever. I also have a high pitched voice. I don't get butthurt when people say she on the phone. Just because I don't want anybody's ideas about gender to I don't want to walk anybody's lines for how I behave. That's so crazy to me. Like it's just a game. Everybody's just playing this weird game where you're supposed to do certain things if you look a certain way or if you have like a certain set of
Mhm.
genitals. I'm like, I'm not doing that, dude.
Yeah.
That's so weird to me. Why are you gonna
Yeah.
limit your life experiences because of the sex you were born with? I'm not gonna do the uh what's the word? I don't want to I don't want to perform for anybody.
Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of
Yeah.
people, like that's where like a lot of like toxic masculinity comes from. It comes from that gender performance. I think people feel this pressure to be a certain way because they're a guy, and so they're trying to perform this idea that they have in their head. Fuck that, dude. If I'm sad and I want to
Mhm.
cry, I'm gonna cry, and it shouldn't be any more or less acceptable because of the sex that I am. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
But I guess some people have other ideas about what it means, and if it ends up meaning something else, I'll revoke that label because that's crazy
Mhm.
to me. Uh,
There's a big stink with the Spanish language over that. You know,
huh,
the Latinx.
Latinx.
The
Yeah, my buddy,
Latinx.
the guy that you saw in that video, I say it in his Discord
Mhm.
all the time because he fucking hates it. He's like, I would rather have somebody call me, and I can't say it on Twitch, but the S slur like 100 times than say Latinx in front of me. He's like, that's the
Yeah.
real slur. And it's so funny because
Yeah.
like nobody in the Hispanic community asked for that. And it
Yeah.
was like given to them. They're like, how do I
It's
regift
literally
this?
it's literally just like college like American liberals that impose that on like an entire continent. No, actually, no. To
Like
be
we have a
fair,
gendered
to be
language,
to be
okay?
fair, to be fair, I used to be I still kind of think it's kind of cringe and shouldn't be not used as much. But there is a role for Latinx or something like that for non-binary people because if they exist and they're valid, you know, and they don't fit into male or female, you can't call them Latina, you can't call them Latino. Well, Latino is gender neutral, but you know that is gonna, you know,
It has
probably fuck with their
implications.
head a little bit because yeah, it has like male implications. So I think it makes sense for you know, Latinx for like non-binary people. Or
Can you just
there's
say
a better
Latin?
one.
Drop
Say
the O
Latin.
and A.
You can say it sounds so. It sounds weird because I hear Latin, I just think like, you know, the Latin language, like not Latino people. But I think there's a better one. Now check this out. I'm gonna blow your fucking mind here. Before this got politicized, and you wanted to refer to a group of people on the internet in Spanish that were a mixed group, I'm gonna type in text chat. I'm gonna type it. I'm gonna type in stream chat.
Okay.
This is gonna blow people's minds. The most gender neutral thing that isn't gonna piss Latinos off. You get it?
Latinat
Latino. Well, because it has an A
and
and
an
it kind of
O.
has an O. Yeah.
That's really
So
good.
you just fill it in your head with whatever you want to read it as.
That's pretty good. Um,
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think more people should use it.
that
And
it was
and
really
that
smart to type it too.
and that used to be the norm.
Interesting.
That used yeah, and then fucking I gotta be careful with what I say on stream.
I'm
Then
gonna have to
very
throw that
cringe
to Kia Weird, see
people.
what he says.
Sorry, what?
I'm gonna have to throw that to my buddy Kiev Weird and see what he says because I've never seen somebody more upset about a word than him with Latinx. It's like saying the N word in his Discord. I swear to God,
Yeah,
he is so mad.
he's Latino, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, he's not Cuban. I think Colombian. I think.
Mm.
And I always think he's Mexican for some reason. I think it's because he said he wasn't Mexican the first time. I heard him bring it up and I misheard him. So that's like the first thing I heard and it's always stuck in my head. So every once in a while to piss him off, I'll call him Mexican too.
Fair. Yeah.
I do think that it's really funny too that Hispanic people it's like I have to like if you give them the wrong like like geographical region Hispanic label, I get really mad. Um like there's like a different specification for each like geographical region, but like black or white, these are like universal. It doesn't matter where you're from. It's just whatever color your skin is. Well, I guess sometimes black people will say like, well, no, I'm like Nigerian or something like that. That's still like pretty rare.
Mhm.
Um, but
Yeah.
but like white people can never get away with that. Like, well, you're white. Well, actually, I'm Eastern European, or like actually I'm Irish. But that works in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm one to talk. I get in a lot of trouble whenever I try to have the Italians aren't white conversation.
Wait, what makes them non-white?
So when they came to America, they were very much they weren't white. When they came to America, they were not white whatsoever. There would be signs up. This is like no Italians. It's just like you'd see like no black signs. There was like no Italians. They were affected by redlining and all that. There was like a bunch of slurs created just for them. And it was extremely difficult for an Italian American to like be here. There was like segregation. Now
Yeah,
it,
same
it
thing.
wasn't as bad as it was for like black Americans, but it was still pretty bad. And the thing that I think is really weird is that at a certain point, white people decided, okay, you can be white now, but like being gifted whiteness after being treated like that just seems like you should be able to say like I don't accept that.
Couldn't you argue that Irish people aren't white under that same logic?
Uh, yeah, it was a little bit better to be Irish than Italian, but yeah, you could. At least in America, sure. Also, Italians, like Irish people aren't going to darken up at all either. You could put an Irish in the sun for like 12 hours and they'll get pink or red.
They still call them Irish N-words.
Sure. And like me, I haven't seen the sun in forever, but if I go out in the sun for like 5 hours, I'm like dark. I used to get a lot
Damn.
of I dealt with a lot of racism for being Middle Eastern when I'm not. When I lived where I used to live in the thumb of Michigan, I'd have to be like, look, I'm
Jesus.
not even the thing that you hate. It'd be okay if I was, but I'm not. Like my first
Oh
girlfriend,
my
her dad came
god.
and picked her up from my house because he shot motherfuckers like me when he was overseas. I'm like, well, he didn't, but
Jesus.
okay. Uh, yeah, it was.
Did, did
There
that
was like
escalate after 9/11? I mean, I'm sure it did.
that's the only time I like experienced it. But like 9/11 happened when I was in middle school.
Mm.
And then living up where everybody knows each other and like I didn't have one of the last names of the community, it was pretty easy for people to like uh do that. And I'd be like, I'm not Middle Eastern. Like, the fuck you're not. I'm like, all right. So like I've experienced racism, just not for like the race that I am. So it doesn't have like that like I don't have like the shame associated with it because like I'm not hearing people hate me for me. But I've seen like the pragmatic side of it where people are just like, you can't do this, you can't be a part of this, you can't date my daughter, that kind of thing, which is really weird. I think it's like a rare experience to have people super mad at you for something you're not. It's probably not super relatable to most people.
Yeah.
But I just always, up until like internet stuff, I never thought that Italians were white. And if you talk to Italians about it, a lot of times they're of a similar mind. Who was it? I was on a date with this chick like a year and a half ago, and I was talking to her about it. She's like, "Oh, I never thought about that." And she's like, "My grandma came from it. My great grandma came from Italy." I was like, "Oh, did you ever ask her what it was like when she first came to America?" She doesn't like to talk about it. I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking bet."
Jesus.
She had a terrible life when she came to America.
Yeah.
But people get really sensitive about that subject. And it always comes off to me
I
that
mean,
people are mad because like they're
it's
like
weird to
offended
not
as white
call
people.
someone. It's just kind of odd to me to, you know, say that a group that is generally like has pretty light skin pigmentation to say they're not white just seems odd to
Sometimes.
me.
Um
Like there are people that will say that Slavic people aren't white.
Well,
And they're like the whitest motherfuckers on the planet, like the palest motherfuckers on the planet.
excuse me, I married an albino woman. They're the whitest people on the planet. She goes out in the sun for 5 minutes. She's pink like
she's
that.
got she's got the Slavs beat.
Um, no, the problem that it really like that Italians will really run into is so like generationally there's been like a lot of like things that kept them from being able to obtain wealth and stuff. But now when you fill out a government form, you have to there's like nothing for Italian on there. You have to mark white, and that works against you trying to get like benefits and stuff.
Interesting.
So like historically Italians had to deal with like a lot of similar issues in trying to accrue wealth in like the more modern America that black people have had to do, but they don't have the similar kinds of programs to help like combat that like historical struggle to gain wealth in the country.
Mm.
So that's the part where I think it like
Interesting.
matters a bit more today. But at the same time too, I was just telling my wife about it. We watched the Super Mario Brothers movie. Great movie, by the way. I really liked it. I thought it was everything it should have been. Well, I actually talked to her about it a few days before this. I think it's weird that it's totally acceptable to make fun of Italians. Like, I'm fine with it. The only thing that bothers me is that, like, I'm not allowed to be bothered by it. Like, if it did bother me, people would be like, you're not allowed. They're like the
Yeah.
one, like, group that is, like, totally socially acceptable across the board. You can make whatever, like, shitty jokes about them. Like, what did Italians do to get this special category of, like, these are the people that you can shit on no matter what?
Yeah.
I think
Why did
that's
they
weird.
yeah, why did they change the voice actors for in The Simpsons for Apu and for Carl and black characters, but they didn't change the voice actors for non-Italian for like the Italian chef or this Willie, the Scottish Willie,
You are allowed to
who's
make
not
fun
actually
of
Scottish.
well, Willie's character's gone. Well, I would argue that Apu's
No,
character's
he's not
gone too
gone.
without the voice. No, I'm saying without his voice and accent. But I'd argue the same thing for Apu too.
Apu's
Yeah.
gone. Apu's gone, but I think Willie's still kicking. I think he recently had an episode actually.
Oh wait, they just got rid of
I don't
Apu?
want. They got rid of Apu years ago.
Oh, I thought they just changed the voice actor.
No, they got rid of him. He's not been on the show in years, which is
Oh.
stupid because they just
So no representation.
yeah, they just killed Indian representation of the show. Brilliant. Well done. Well done. You've done it. You killed the model minority character in The Simpsons who is like the business owner. He's a volunteer firefighter. He's one of the smartest people in Springfield. He's a model immigrant.
husband, a
Yeah, he's
father.
a loving husband. Well, no, he cheated on his wife, but yeah.
Arranged marriage, come on.
But yeah, I mean, generally, like one of the finest people in Springfield is just not on the show anymore, and there's less Indian representation now on the show because because one sensitive comedian. Because no, sorry, to be fair, because stupid people bully Indians with the Apu accent, and
Yeah.
they wanted
Apu
to,
wasn't the problem. People using him as a model is. And I think
mock Indians.
caricatures are a good thing. I think it's a good comedic tool. What the problem is when it becomes like, if you look at like old cartoons, all black people were caricatures of black people, which was really bad.
Yeah.
Like if you look at like old like Mickey Mouse or like old Looney Tunes, like big ass eyes, like wiggly arms, big ass lips and shit. It was really, really, really bad. But I think that if you have caricature in media and stuff, it gives that group, because like everybody who's part of a group knows somebody that's gonna fit that, and that's funny to that group internally.
Yeah.
Like
have you watched Smiling Friends?
yeah, that's your icon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Spitz is the best Latino representation on Adult Swim. He's my favorite character. He's so fucking funny. I love him. I love him to death.
I didn't expect you to say that.
He's so funny.
Yeah, that whole show was like super, super good. I was really impressed.
It's brilliant. Yeah, Zach Hadel and Michael Cusack are geniuses. Um, but shit, I was gonna go somewhere with The Simpsons. Oh no, with Futurama.
Oh,
There's there's a problem. There's something problematic about the Spanish dub in Futurama, where I could make a big Twitter stink about it if I wanted to. But I love the show and don't want to hurt it, so I'm not going to. But the Spanish dubs for The Simpsons and Futurama, even though Asian characters in the English dub had normal voices, when they dubbed them in Spanish, they gave them like the most racist, stereotypical like Asian accents possible. Like Amy Wong in the Spanish dub of Futurama is a racist voice,
so
and that was not in the original. Like
Yeah.
they just decided to give her a racist voice.
would you
for
be
no
okay with it
reason.
if she always had one and they just kept it?
Probably not.
Oh.
I don't know. I think that would. I don't know. I don't want to rub people the
Well,
wrong way. That show. That
I
show
guess I haven't
should be
heard it.
like accessible to like. I think it's such a brilliant show, and they do like I don't know. I just don't want to.
Well, I guess I don't know what's racist about it. Like if they just have an Asian accent, I don't know.
No, I mean it's like the most stereotypical like cartoonish.
I can imagine.
Asian accent.
And then I
that
assume
I'm not
Amy's
going to
parents
repeat.
too.
Yeah. Wait, Amy's parents in the English dub did have like an Asian accent. Now that I think
Yeah,
of
at
it.
least the mom does. I can't remember
Yeah.
if the dad does or not. I think he just has like broken English.
Yeah. Yeah, it's less overt, I think, and I think they actually changed the voice actors too in the reboot.
Oh, I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah. Futurama was progressive because for its time all of the minority characters were voiced by like people of that race. They did that thing before Twitter made us think about it. They just did it of their own volition.
Yeah, that makes sense. What is it? You see there's been an issue recently where you can't have dwarf actors play dwarf characters. Like this is like the progressive idea. But if it's anything else, they demand the actor to represent like the role. Have you seen
That's-
that?
A little bit. That's yeah. I mean, that's just kind of taking opportunities away from like little
Yeah.
people, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? That's little people is the only politically correct term for a group that I don't get it. I think it's a bigoted term.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to be a PC about it, but yeah, it's
But,
a
like,
fucking.
Because
it's a
there's
strange
nothing
term.
there's nothing that like there's nothing about the word midget that takes away from the person. It's just the word that we had. It's just a word that didn't exist until they gave it to people that had dwarfism. But they're like, we need a new word. Oh, you're not a
What's
person
the-
now. You're a little person.
the-
We're gonna
what's
reduce
the
your
et-
status of personhood.
What's the etymology of that word?
I'm not sure.
Because maybe it is offensive. But yeah, I agree with you. Little people sounds more offensive.
It sounds bigoted. Yeah, like we're gonna reduce your personhood status, and we're gonna do it in a way that emphasizes the thing that you're suffering from.
Wow.
Is it really bad?
It's offensive, yeah. It comes from midge, a tiny biting insect.
Oh no. Okay, that's pretty bad. They still could have done better than little people, dude.
Yeah, they could have. They really could have.
That one's.
Let's
Well-
spitball some better.
I was gonna say at least not knowing that there's nothing on the face of midget that sounds bad. You know what I mean? There's nothing I could
Yeah.
associate. I mean, if I was French, I would have known. But like little person, I'm like, ooh, chill. That's just
Yeah.
Dave, okay? He's just a person, all right? Chill out. Relax.
Hmm.
Uh I even think that dwarf sounds mean. Because like
Dwarf.
when I think dwarf, yeah, I think of like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And where and then like
Mm.
drawing that line, it seems like that's being tied to like the fictional characters that are tiny. But like I mean ultimately it's up to them.
Yeah.
They get to
Mm.
pick the words, but it just sounds offensive. Both of them sound like
Yeah.
offensive phrases.
The whole etymological treadmill of like words becoming offensive and over time, and it's so stupid. I mean, it's like you got to play along with it because you get canceled otherwise. But
Yeah, I think you just say height impaired.
like
It seems like it
stupid
does
could have
it.
been like stupid. I don't know. Who knows? Like 50 years down the line, what
My
are you gonna
understanding
be
that
like
stupid means you know what's correct and it
offensive?
doesn't impact your judgment. But like idiot used to be a bad term. You used
Yeah,
not,
idiot. That's the word I'm thinking of. Yeah, idiot. Yeah,
idiot
that
was
used to
like the
be.
word that retarded became that it's no longer either.
Hmm.
Um oh, I meant to say this earlier. I had a panel about the word retarded because I won't let it go. I'm like, no, fuck you. That's not what it means anymore. 99% of the time when somebody says retarded, we're not talking about a mentally handicapped person. We're talking about our friend who's doing something that's so dumb that, like you're saying, you're behaving like you're mentally handicapped. Stop doing that. But I would never call somebody who has a learning disorder retarded, but I'll call a
Hmm.
neurotypical person retarded all the time. And then the person who won the opposite side of that panel, 1v1 debated me. And he, I made him laugh so hard he cried using the word retarded. And I was like, I win. I beat you.
Yeah,
I won. I
you
showed you why this
destroyed.
word has value.
Yeah.
Um, and he was just like, fuck.
Yeah. A friend of mine proposed a PC a PC substitute for that word. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Riri.
We're just alluding to the fucking word.
Yeah, I mean we're fucking around, but it's
Yeah, that's retarded.
it sounds funny though. Riri.
Um, and I get it. Some people are like, well, why do you have to use that word? I'm like, what do you mean? Why do you have to use any word? Shut up. Bad argument.
Hmm.
Um, we just criticize because like, I said, idiot used to be that word. We use it all the time now. There is an expiration on some of these words. And it seems like the biggest trend seems to be the words that are used to describe people with mental impairments have the like shortest expiration time.
Mm.
And for some reason,
Mm.
people are replacing it with autistic, which is the word we actually fucking use now. And somehow that's
Yeah.
acceptable. But the word that we never use is not. Crazy to me.
I think that falls into like because everyone calls themselves autistic even though they're not. So they're like, I'm allowed to use the word because I'm autistic.
Sure, that's weird that that happens. But also people who aren't autistic use it to sidestep the criticism saying retarded. Am I
Yeah.
wrong? Some people are
Yep.
trying out remedial.
No, you know the worst one, and Hassan said this was calling, in the context of someone calling someone the arsler. He said, like, what are you neurodivergent or like something like that? Like
Yeah,
that's
these are
like a
actual words
medical
that we're using.
racism. That's like medical racism. Like, what are you? How is that better? I don't know.
Yeah,
You fucking neurodiverse. Like, what are you doing, man? What are you?
that's how I feel about people using autistic. Um, my my kid's mom had an aunt who was like, she probably had to live with somebody else for the rest of like for her whole life because she's just not like cognizant enough to do everything she needs to do. But when her sister would get mad and call her aunt retarded, I would get in her ass. Like, you fucking stop. She's the nicest woman I've ever met in my whole
Yeah.
life. But
Yeah.
don't call Linda retarded. But I'm gonna call my friend who killed himself with a grenade if we're in a Call of Duty lobby retarded, because you really couldn't let go of E or Q. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the only word that I fight for. Although
Yeah.
I
And
did say
I feel like it's coming back a little bit.
it should.
I feel like I see it more often now.
There's not a lot of words that feel powerful when you're insulting your friends anymore for fun. Like, we're losing all of them, and it's the one I don't want to let go. But I think that I said it on Kick, and I actually said it on Kick because I'm allowed to. I think that the F slur's coming back. And I think it's funny again because when it was
Yeah.
bad, it was pretty generally accepted. There's a lot of homophobic people out there, and gay people are afraid to be out. But now,
Yeah.
like, even on the right, you'll get criticized if you're homophobic. So, like, we've done a really good job at weeding out homophobia, and where it's still at, we're doing a really good job of shaming it. So I think it just doesn't hold the same weight anymore.
You're 100% right. And I feel like that should be like the N word in the sense that like it's the same kind of situation where like people are reclaiming the word. You know, the people that suffered racism or bigotry under the word are kind of reclaiming it.
Oh, I'm saying I think that it's like funny again when people who aren't gay say it, because like this
But
is
I
how I
think
think of
that's-
it.
But
When
it's
I was
coming back because the gay people are
Oh,
bringing
sure.
it back in that context.
They're also not really gatekeeping it. Like
Really?
I don't see that anymore. It seems like the people who are getting mad are non-gay people, by and large, at least, unless somebody's using it hatefully, which case I understand. Shit. Oh, I remember now. So like when I was a kid, it was like really funny to call your friends, or even be like, "What are you, gay?" That was very funny when I was like 8, and then as I became like a teenager, young adult, it was like, "Oh, this is a really big problem here. This is like super bad. Don't say it." When somebody say it, be like, "I can't believe you did that." But now, because we came out of that and things are chill now, or like at least like significantly more, like it's a pretty good United States for gay people for the most part now.
Yeah.
It's still got some bad spots, but like I think we've done really good. So now when people say it, you get that initial like, but then you realize nobody's being hateful, and so it's like the initial gasp, and then like a breath of relief that makes it kind of funny again.
Yeah. Yeah. If anyone tries to get me in trouble for saying it, I'll pull the buy card.
I because like I generally do, or genuinely do. I just don't bring it up all that often. Consider myself non-binary, and I had a debate with Brianna Wu, and she's it's the only time in my life I've ever pulled the non-binary card. We're having a debate, and she accused me of mansplaining, which is just beyond ridiculous. We're debating. I'm gonna tell you you're wrong, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm right. That's why we're here. And I was like, I'm actually non-binary. So it's the only time in my life I've ever used that in a social situation. And she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Got her ass.
But that's the kind of thing that like I don't want to be any part of. I don't want to be told
Yeah, no,
that
I agree.
there's only certain spaces
It's
for me to be able to do
it's
certain things because of
for
my
me.
genitals. Get out of
Yeah,
here.
it's self-preservation, honestly.
And that's like the only time I've
Yeah.
ever been offended as an adult with somebody like trying to like gender me, because normally like I just don't care. That's the whole point of non-binary to me. I don't care. If you want to play the game, you can. I just don't give a shit. But when you try to put it on me and make me play along, like, no, that's not me. I unsubscribed from that.
Based. Very based. Listen, man, it's like 1:42 a.m. I got work tomorrow. This
Yeah,
was
no
really
problem.
fun. This was really fun. Enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, same. If you I'm probably gonna do something like stand-up-ish related. I'll tag you in if I do. Now
Yeah,
it's
sure. Yeah, just fill me in.
now it's on to Resident Evil 4 while I brush up on my polyamory stuff. I'm debating counterpoints about polyamory. because he said some of the
Ooh.
dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life about it. And I'm polyamorous as fuck. I know my shit. Do you know who Smeth is?
I have to go, but I want I wanted to ask you about polyamory. Fuck.
Don't let me keep you. I was just gonna say Smeth is moderating
No,
the
yeah.
debate.
We can talk about it some other time.
Sure. Just hit me up. I stream a lot now.
Nice.
Or if you want
Nice.
to talk off stream too, I'm not one of those people that only talk on stream.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, man, take care. This is fun.
Yeah, peace out.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. So, let's see what I got here. For the research part. And part of doing research in it too is kind of to prime people that are watching to get some of the essential ideas out there without me going on a rant. Oh. I think I might like this one. Okay. So how do I want to do this? In 1 minute to set up my stream for it. Go to, nope, not that. Yeah, that one. Cool, that'll work. Because I do have, I really do have like a duty to my wife to play this on stream. And I put it off for so long. And also I want to, it's been fun. So, boop. Oh, this just came out a day ago too. How cool. So I figured I'd play this. We can listen to this while I jam some Res4. So I want to let my headset charge a little bit more. So I'm gonna I'm gonna mute myself unless I have something to say for like 10 minutes to let my headset charge up, and I'm gonna have my sound coming out from here for me. Usually my headset charges way faster, but I must have like really killed it last time. I don't know what the deal is. So I think one of the reasons last time I was having so much trouble was my graphics card settings were like fucked. Let's see here. I gotta close. my... Okay, I am out of that. That's good. Oh, yep. Close that one. Oh no, they call their completion points CP? That's not good. That's not good. Oh. Let's turn ray tracing off. That'd probably be a big help. Oh wait, does that save it? Okay, good, it does. All right, I'm gonna go grab something. I have something for specifically this stream. Hey lady, you know what GameCube controller is? I'm trying to get it to stream. Huh? That's what I was thinking. And that milk crate. Okay, I got it. I have the thing. So for me, the OG Resident Evil 4 was GameCube. And I have an adapter so I can use a GameCube controller to play it. I'd set it up. Oh, I might have to in Steam. Okay, that one's turned off. No controller detected. Let's see here. I got it. I got it. Oh, where'd that go? Oh yeah, I could probably close a bunch of this garbage too. Oh. Oh. I think I have an issue. Oh, okay, I see. Yep. Jesus, OBS is using a ton of my graphics card. Oh. Maybe that'll cut down a lot. Let's see. Nope. That's crazy. I have a 2080 Ti. It shouldn't be eating up that much. Sorry, just bear with me. I'm download unverified file. Yes. Oh, I know why. Okay. Easy enough. No, it's still like hogging it like crazy. I don't understand. Huh. It might not let me do it. It might not be allowed. OBS is just like hogging everything. But it doesn't normally. Well, you know what? Shit. I hate to say it, but because we had issues last time and then I fixed it. I think I'm just gonna postpone the second half of this stream. I'm gonna do some homework on it tonight, and then tomorrow I'll do Resident Evil 4 and polyamory research. I'm so sorry, but it's just gonna crash my shit. My GPU is literally at 100%, and I got a monster of a GPU here. OBS is at 45% of it. It's taking up. It's like fighting with Resident Evil 4 for graphics card usage. They're going back and forth which one's gonna have over 50%. Let's see. Oh wait, I could try this. There's one more thing I can try. If I turn that off, let's go down. Oh, it does. And then I can switch to Oh. That's supposed to be Resident Evil 4. Why? Okay, no. But it is significantly reducing the strain. Okay. Oh yeah, it's way better. Maybe we can get away with it. All right, cool. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, very, very cool. Oh, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. Come on. There we go. Okay, cool. No lagging.
Yes. Hi, Dana. It's so nice to be here. Thanks for having me. You are speaking one of the favorite.
Okay. Oh, that's weird. It was only going through my mic. Should be good on the charge too. All right. All right, this should let me use my GameCube controller. Fingies crossed.
Favorite topics around our practice, because we do work with a lot of clients that identify as consensual or ethical non-monogamy, or also potentially as polyamorous. And so some people who just maybe listening to this are like, what did you just say? I don't know what that term is. So I brought an expert on so that we can talk about these things. So give us some definitions from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now the best way to think about it is that, you know, consensual non-monogamy or ethical non-monogamy, those are umbrella terms and they could mean anything to anyone. So always ask a follow-up question whenever somebody says, I'm consensually non-monogamous.
Yeah.
Cool. How does that work for you is your next question.
Yeah.
And
I
then
like that.
the next thing I like to describe is that, you know, even polyamory. So most people who are in the world of relationships know that we're talking about openness to emotional and sexual connection, except the word polyamory gets used widely too. So I meet people every day who are using that word, but they actually maybe have some limits around emotional connection and maybe they haven't learned yet. So I'm going to say there are definitions, but the most important definition is going to come from the person you're talking to.
So you just said a term that may be confusing to someone listening. You're saying emotional connection. And I think that if I'm a lay person that doesn't hang out in this world, I might be like, but Jolie, aren't you talking about having sex with people? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Why are you saying emotional connection? Are they not having sex? So that seems to be something that comes up a lot. So can you address
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, so I think that a lot of people forget that whenever we're building any relationship, we're choosing which domains of intimacy we're going to engage in. So if I'm making a new friendship, I may come into that friendship understanding that, oh, we're going to have some emotional closeness. If I come into a friendship, I probably am not expecting that I would have sexual closeness. But where exactly is the line where something crosses into what about sensual or physical closeness? Like, is it okay to sit on the couch with my friend and hang out and watch a movie and be touching? Is it okay to be holding hands somewhere? Would that fall? What is that? And what exactly is emotional intimacy?
I'll have to figure out
How
the
close
GameCube
is
thing
too
later.
close? And when I say too close, I mean by that monogamous standard. So I don't think there's one way we can define and say, okay, here's what emotional intimacy would look like in a non-monogamous relationship. No, because just like in every relationship anywhere, it's going to depend on who you are, who the person you're relating to is, and what the two of you agree on. And that's where the word consensual gets really,
This is all, everything she's saying is like spot
really
on.
helpful.
It's really good.
It's going to be about the conversation that you have where you get clear on what is it that you want out of this relationship now, and where would you like to aim the boat, say? And for some people who are coming from a
Like
very
this gun.
monogamous mindset,
Yeah.
there's an imagination that we all know where the line is. Where the line is, where something goes from being a friend and this is okay and totally kosher and fine and we don't have to worry about it, over into nope, you crossed the line, and now and I'm going to use great big air quotes here, emotionally cheating, right? Or having an emotional affair. Where's that line? That's where I think the non-monogamous community is having a really interesting conversation around where is that line? What defines a relationship as an intimate one exactly, or even as a romantic one? So it's tricky to give definitions because most of us, and I know for myself, when I was in the monogamous world, like ensconced in it, and that's where I grounded myself, I didn't think about it. I just started relationships and followed what I thought was the default setting of correct. And it turned out that my settings weren't necessarily the same as everyone else's. And that's where we get into these kerfuffles with our friends, where somebody thinks somebody is emotionally cheating and somebody else thinks there's been a physical line crossed. Or maybe you get into an argument with your partner because you feel like texting someone isn't okay, or it's only okay during these hours, but if it's after those hours, now it's crossed the line into emotional cheating. I'm tired just thinking about it. Honestly,
There's a lot of monogamous people now that are like, I'm sorry, my brain just got lost somewhere. And what you're saying is, so that we simplify it, what I took away from what you're saying is there has to be some kind of conversation. There can't be assumptions and expectations and projection. That's what I'm hearing you say.
I want everyone to move things from the implicit expectations, what we think are the norms, into explicit agreements. That means we have to have conversations. And most of us will need some vocabulary upgrades to have those conversations. Because we don't even know what we need to ask. So that's normal. So if you feel confused by this part of the conversation, yeah, you're in good company. Most of us are confused about this part, but you're right. It's about making things really explicit through conversation.
Well, and I think that I'm apologizing to those that may take offense to this, but the rigidity around it being, oh, I don't know what that means, that seems too big, that seems too overwhelming, is there's a fear component, right? And so I'm trying to manage my fear by having boxes and borders around things so that I know what to expect, so that I give myself this sort of faux sense that I have things figured out and that I can have an expectation that makes me feel like I have control.
Yeah, feeling, most of us want to feel safe, right? Like that's most of the time. We want to play maybe at the edges of our safety, but most of us want to feel safe. And we're seeking that in our relationships, and it's normal to seek some simplicity in that goal of safety, except simplicity that comes from not talking, or simplicity that comes from saying that's just too big or too much, or I just want something I just heard literally this morning from a client, that's just too complicated. Relationships shouldn't be that much work.
Oh yeah, I hear
And
that from people a lot.
I get the premise. Like, I think relationships should have an element of flow and like generative yumminess to them. And
I don't like how she said that, but
it's
otherwise.
complicated to relate to a whole other human, let alone if you want to relate to multiple other humans.
No,
It's
that's right, that's
complicated,
fine.
so we do need to allow it to be a little complex and to let ourselves be in the messy figuring out what does intimacy mean to me, what action, and then what does it mean to me, what does it mean to this person I want to relate to, and where can we find our happy overlap, like where, because that's where the relationship is ideally.
Would a first conversation talk about what each partner's perspective about commitment looks like to them? Like, how
Shit.
do they view commitment? What do they maybe visualize it as, or what behaviors are happening in commitment? Like,
My health
is that
wasn't
a
even
good
read.
starting place for a
It seems like they have a pretty good idea. I don't disagree with anything that they said. A lot of the stuff that they just went over, I think, like people saying it's too complicated. A lot of monogamous people say that, but I think for most people, they make their monogamous relationships a lot more complicated than they need to be too. I think that people aren't that good at managing communication in their relationships, regardless of the style. And I think that the idea of dealing with additional variables, just introducing anything more than what they're already used to, is a lot. Because I think for most people, that if somebody says that too, like, oh, I couldn't handle being in a polyamorous relationship, I'd say you're probably right. You probably shouldn't do it. I'm not trying to get everybody to be polyamorous. But what I would like everybody to do is to understand that monogamy is not like the only choice. It's not like the default. Like, you shouldn't think of it as like, well, this is what like is supposed to be. I would like to very much challenge that idea, because I think that that's like unhelpful. I don't like that this is still running. And I think it's unhelpful, like, broadly. That one will do it. Oh, wow. Yeah, that fixed everything entirely. Holy smokes. My graphics card is, like, way more chilled out. I think that having monogamy in that kind of frame where, like, this is how things are supposed to be, this is what's normal, this is what's like what everybody like ought to do, I think that's bad for people at large.
partnership?
Yeah, I think it depends on what exactly you're trying to build. So if I'm out dating with the goal to build either one or multiple committed relationships, then commitment's a great place to start. But let's say I'm out dating right now primarily to make casual connection, maybe have sensual fun, then I wouldn't necessarily have that conversation. I would instead encourage conversations about what casual is to you. What does that mean? And how do you like, I would want to talk about communication standards. When do you want to be
There we go.
contacted?
Well,
How much? What sort of information do you want to share? And what do you not want to share?
Whoa.
If you're talking about multiple partners, do you have other partners who I just could be aware of so I know that they exist? I don't need to necessarily meet them, but can I at least know who's in your world? Because if somebody can't provide me with that level of intel, I'm probably going to have trouble communicating with them about more sensitive issues. So it really depends on what the goal is of the relationship building. And I think a lot of us, we spend, say, our 20s, maybe into our 30s, like focused on like finding the one.
Yeah.
But what if you're not doing that? What if you're actually just finding community through connection, through dating? different set of conversations. Definitely.
Yeah, it sounds more like there's a curiosity approach versus a set of rules that you're imposing on someone, that I only have sex with one person at a time, and if you're dating me, you're dating exclusively, and I'm not, and like the list of things is now sort of maybe taking some people off the table that might have been a good match for you had you not so narrowly defined what it is that you're willing to consider.
Right.
That's pretty good.
And it's also fair to say that
Oh, wait, he's dead.
many people will not be a good fit for any of us at any given time. Right. So just the dating process, if we start off from the premise that all relationships are aiming at a goal of committed togetherness, that's, I mean, now we're talking about something called the relationship escalator, which I'm sure you're familiar with, but the idea that all relationships follow this one way, this unidirectional hierarchical, I'm going to rise in importance to this person, that's not the only way that we can create relationships. But it is like how most of us were raised to imagine, especially romantic relationships, but even friendships. There can be this sense of like, we have to keep proceeding and progressing, or, you know, toward this like deeper intimacy. But what if we break that and we say, what if your relationships are just a place for you to be curious? What if some relationships serve the purpose of deep friendship? What if some serve an intimate sexual connection? What if some of them are about building family, chosen family, and deep community? What if them are just, they change over time? You know, you shift in and out of some of these realms. That is a conversation I think anyone, no matter what relationship style you're seeking, if you can have that conversation first with yourself, you're going to have an easier time of then going and connecting to other people.
What I love about what you just said is that you normalized what's happening in a lot of relationships that we are having, those of us on the receiving end that are maybe not riding the escalator. Let's just say for friendship, to make this less scary for people, right? If I meet you and we're at a conference together and we have coffee and then we only like visit at conferences, and I thought we had this escalator of I keep reaching out and I want to deepen our friendship and you're just not feeling it, there's the potential for you to experience guilt and shame, or for me to like beat myself up that I'm not interesting enough. And what you're basically saying is there's all different flavors of friendship or relationships or connection, and just because you're not rising on the escalator doesn't mean you didn't have value or it wasn't meaningful. It's just maybe you have different approaches.
Right. Or maybe it's not the right time. I've had people who entered my world first in one realm, you know, maybe we were developing a friendship, maybe it expands into this something I might even call a best friendship, and then at some point there's sort of a crest of that wave and like, oh, maybe we're not in that spot with each other anymore. If you can allow yourself to experience what polyamorous and consensual non-monogamous tend to call de-escalation, if you can allow yourself to, what if we reorganize? What if this isn't about endings and it's about whatever comes next? And that is high level relationship skill right there. But I don't think it's just about non-monogamy at all, because if you can do that in your friendships, you will have a much better time of weathering, especially through parenting and midlife, all the changes that happen as you move in and out of phase pretty fast. Like, yeah, what if you got to renegotiate your relationships at any stage along the way, just because that's what was needed by either of you?
So I know that we're going to talk about this. How will then that push up against my ego? What will I have to be able to let go of or restructure in the way that I view jealousy, which is something that you're really good about addressing, right? In, you know, consensual non-monogamy, there for those of that are not used to it, there's this idea called compersion, right? Which is, I'm happy for you having experiences that bring you joy. I think of it as like, I'm excited that you get to go to Disneyland, even if I don't get to go, because I love knowing that you got to have that experience and that opportunity. That really does straddle a line with me having envy or feeling jealous that you have an experience that I'm not participating in, or my ego telling me that I should be the person that you want to do those experiences with. How much does that push up against trying to learn how to do this expression of relationship?
Yeah. Well, I study jealousy through qualitative research, which means that I'm asking people to share these, like, what amount to sticky, kind of deep, dark stories of
damn it.
ugh that comes up when I feel that there is a threat to my valued love bond, right? I have this valued relationship, a connection to the other. Could be a friend, doesn't have to be somebody you're having sex with, but I feel that, and I feel an interruption. And when that jealousy comes up, most of us experience jealousy from a very immature place, which makes sense because jealousy can be spotted in infants as young as 6 months old. And since it can, right, like, so we see jealousy that early, we know that jealousy first forms very, very early. And then we don't talk about it again. It forms to keep you connected to your primary caregiver. Makes sense. But then I have yet to meet an adult who said, oh yeah, my parents did a good job of teaching me what to do with jealousy. And I've asked thousands of people, like,
That's really
what did your
funny.
parents teach you about jealousy? No one has ever had anything to report. And it's sad because a lot of these people were able to say, oh yeah, they told me about sadness and anger, other difficult to manage emotions,
Sure.
but they don't have any skills. So jealousy, we tend to feel from a very emotionally immature spot when it comes up. And yeah, it would be great if compersion, if the idea of joy for my partner's joy, if it just like magically appeared. But the research does not bear that out. For most of us, compersion or moving out of jealousy into a space where we can at least be neutral and be in what we might call attitudinal compersion, just being in that space, it takes effort. It takes active effort. And you said, what does my ego need to deal with? Yeah, what does my ego need to deal with? What do I need to do to allow myself space where I don't point my fingers at another person and say, you have to change exactly what you're doing because I have this feeling.
Oh, shit.
Because when I'm angry, that's not a helpful response. If I'm sad, that's not a helpful response. If I'm sad and I point my fingers to somebody else, that's not gonna fix my sad.
Oh, he said it too.
Jealousy, we get kind of confused, and we tend to think if I'm jealous, the first thing that needs to happen is my partner needs to fix it. They need to
Yeah.
fix it.
That's the bad
And really,
thing.
jealousy is just like all other emotions. It begins within. You start working on it from inside of you. But a lot of us just don't know how to even identify when we're feeling jealous because we also feel shame when we feel jealousy. And if you feel shame attached
There
to
it
anything, then you're likely to shove it under the rug or call it something else, call it anything else. So jealousy is one of the big issues that we have to work with. If anyone is exploring non-monogamy or just unpacking their friendships and trying to get off the friendship escalator even, if you're doing any of that, you gotta deal with the fact that jealousy is natural and normal. There's nothing wrong with it.
I wasn't really sure. I've never heard them talk about it before, but I like the title. This is actually a very, very good, informative podcast about the subject. I'm really impressed. I don't usually run into a whole lot of people talking about the subject that are like this, like able to intelligently communicate about it in a way that I would agree with. But they're like straight up killing it.
And the information it's giving you might even be accurate. Like, it has really powerful information. If my partner is betraying me by violating agreements, or if a friend really is ignoring me and intentionally creating distance between us by inviting a third to like interrupt, or a sort of like a Heather's situation, like if we're in that, right, whenever that's happening, that's real. I don't want jealousy to go away because I want to be able to now turn to my partner and have very important conversations about behavior, agreements, about how we get back into repair with each other. But the desire we have to imagine that we never have to feel jealous, that we just never have to feel envy, it's just not realistic. We experience jealousy and envy because they're normal emotions. So one of the things we'll have to do is just let that be true and let it not mean something bad about us. We have to make a decision to no, it doesn't mean anything about you. It's telling you something.
I love that because in my work with couples, I often have to and get to give them psychoeducation that no emotions are bad. They're just strictly information, right? It's not like I have to pretend it's not happening, push it away, beat myself up, experience the guilt and shame for having the jealousy. For me, in my experience, clients that are experiencing jealousy, that possibly means a healthy boundary that you need to set, right?
Yeah.
And so the way that can be sort of in the conversation that we're having is if I'm feeling jealousy because my partner is with their metamor and they're lost in their new relationship energy.
A metamor is a word that means my partner's partner. Kind of weird that they didn't explain that and she just threw it out there.
And they're not remembering to pick the kids up from school and they're not participating in household chores and I'm feeling overburdened because I am not also doing the things that we had an agreement to share about in our child rearing or whatever that situation is, that's appropriate for me to kind of sit down and be like, is it jealousy or is there a boundary that I need to set about, are you able to make your commitments that you've made to everyone in your life a priority because it's not feeling like that right now, and can we adjust or address or talk about how we're going to navigate this moving forward, because this feeling, I don't like it and I'm having some validity around it. It's not just going to be dismissed as jealousy. It's going to be that there's an unfairness that's happening.
Yeah. I mean, that's my that's what puts my antenna up.
Oh.
If somebody says, "Oh, it's just jealousy," often what they're trying to do is diminish the idea that the problem needs to be looked at. But jealousy it's providing us information. It's not just jealousy, it's jealousy.
Yeah.
And it's not just insecurity. Sometimes insecurity is part of the picture, and that also needs to get worked with. But what you just mentioned, those are all really important things. Having boundary conversations, having agreement, all of that. But I think of that as actually step 4 in the jealousy roadmap. Like that's step 4. And most people skip steps 1, 2, and 3 because there's this fear of naming jealousy. There's this fear that if I name jealousy now, I have to deal with the fact that I feel jealous. And for some people, that's incredibly stigmatizing, like internally, like, ugh, I don't want to admit it. And so first, I just need people to notice that you feel jealous and name it and let that be okay, because jealousy is the indicator. Like, the number of times somebody has sat with me in session and described a situation, and I say, so you're describing a situation where you are experiencing a threat to the connection you have with someone else. That's jealousy. Okay, now let's deal with the fact that the sooner you notice that, because many people let it go on for a very long time because they don't want to bring it up because they're like, ugh, I shouldn't be feeling jealousy.
I should just work through it on my own. I should just not mention it and go.
I should just not mention it. Be a good poly person. That whole notion, it's not a real thing. But as if you were doing all your work, you just wouldn't experience jealousy. But there's where we have to get more curious about the emotion itself and what it has to tell us. And it might also have things to say about like how you hold your relationships. Did you actually make agreements? That's a big part of step 4 for me. When I'm navigating needs, I want to know, tell me, there are a lot of implicit assumptions in most people's day-to-day lives around what they expect from their partner. Have you dealt with that? Have you made actual agreements? Because once NRE, new relationship energy, enters the picture, yeah, probably some people are going to drop some balls, some stuff's going to happen, and we need to have conversations. But if you've never actually made clear agreements, if you were just living the default, like, hey, we have a house together, we have kids together, therefore all of these things happen. If it was by default, then it's going to be really hard to get into the nitty gritty of, okay, what would it look like to hold those priorities? What would it look like to balance multiple competing priorities? Because I can, at any moment, my partner might say, well, I never agreed to that. I never agreed to pick the kids up. I never agreed. Like, it's just been assumed that I would. What if I don't want to? And that is hugely problematic. It's also why the emotional and physical labor of running a household tends to fall one direction, as we're having more and more conversations about this. I have 7 kids. God knows I know about this.
I don't know how you have no wrinkles. How do you have 7 children?
I think just good Zoom filters. I think that's it. I find it, wonderful that we're having these conversations about how the emotional and physical labor of running a household has tended to land on cisgender women in heterosexual relationships. And we need to make the agreements about this, and we
Hell
need to
yeah.
start doing it earlier and earlier. So now I don't start any relationship without having relationship agreements that are.
Oh!
I prefer them to be in writing. In fact, I prefer to get it really, especially if it's about stuff that's going to happen, physical stuff that's going to happen in our house.
Shit, I
That
meant to-
includes, for instance, I
God
have
damn it.
teenagers. You
I
know
heard
the
it and I tried
emotional
to crawl
labor
under
that
it.
goes
I guess I
with
wasn't crouching.
teenagers. And
No!
So I like to have it written down, like who handles a
I
lovesick
really wanted them
teenager
to be
in
able
our
to
house?
be the one to hit
Is it
that.
both of us? Is it one of us? Who's gonna do that? Because once you start naming that stuff, all of a sudden it becomes really obvious why when when NRE or some other interrupter shows up, all of a sudden we're like, ugh, I feel burdened. Why do you feel burdened?
God
Because you were
damn
probably
it.
burdened unduly before, but now you have a place to pinpoint and say, it's because of this. So I need people to actually wind it back a little bit and get into the nitty gritty of how does your relationship work?
If you've never played it, I'd highly recommend it. I don't even have the words. It's just like the perfect game for the time.
Do you have clear agreements? Do you have repair processes? Do you have processes to make new agreements? Or do you think that agreements should be made and then that's it? They're just in place forever? Because that doesn't tend to work either. We need to be
You're
able to
saying they're a
revisit
living
them.
document that we need to
Exactly.
continually sort of, so I practice the Gottman method and we have this idea of what's the state of our union, and we have regular check-ins about like what's working, what's not working. Do we need to address some of our agreements or our roles or the things that we've made a decision about that may have been impacted by numerous things, not just our relationship status? And so how do we readdress what's still working for us?
Yeah. And how do we celebrate what is working? Like, because that's the other piece that we get to do. If you revisit, so I put people
Hey!
when they're opening, I ask people to start
You're not
having
allowed to do
check-ins
that. What the fuck?
weekly,
You weren't here like
monthly,
that last time.
quarterly, yearly, of different sizes. You know, there are these different sizes of check-ins that we do, and it feels like a lot, but really, it's just the maintenance that goes on anyways. It's just that you're naming it and saying, oh, we're gonna put a little box around it. We're gonna create a container so our calendar can hold this revisiting for us. And
What
if
the
you're talking
fuck?
about the complexities of, oh, now there's also new sexual partners, new friendships, new deep, intimate friendships. That's gonna bring up more stuff for a lot of us, especially if we're moving from monogamy to non-monogamy. That brings up more stuff, which means the check-ins become all the more important. Like, it's not that they weren't important before. They were always important. So a lot of times people come to me and I introduce this technology of like, okay, we're gonna have a very formal agreement process, a very formal repair process, a very formal check-ins process. Those are the three like big formal pieces.
Fuck!
And what when they feel overwhelmed by that is, I wish that you'd been told that this was a normal thing for relationships the whole time. But
I played it on the Oculus and that was fucking awesome. It was really cool being able to reach, like, to pull a grenade off the chest and then toss it. Very, very cool. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna ask my wife something real quick. See what she's at being awake-wise.
what's this?
Damn it. Oh, what's this? There's an arrow. Okay, I don't really get it. Oh, it must have been the arrows from this. I see. Alright, I definitely have to use that tripwire, but I can't run, I guess. I guess that's the thing that's gonna get me blowing myself up. I can come back for the necklace. Oh, maybe I don't have to. Is that what triggers them? Okay. Excellent. No! Damn it. I wish they would have taken the brunt of it instead. Oh, thanks for dramatically pausing, dude. Oh no! God damn it! Very, very annoying. I'm pretty excited. Capcom seemed to have figured out how to convert flat screen games to VR very well. Resident Evil. I'm assuming that says 7. Oh, 8 and now 4. Let's see what else comes out in 2024. Yeah, that's I was pretty stunned with it, to be honest. So I got a little bit of this in. I'm gonna keep the video where it's at. I'm gonna pick this up tomorrow. My wife's like almost falling asleep, and today's like one of our only days to get to do stuff together. But I'm gonna come back to it tomorrow. Hopefully playing with the GameCube controller, because that'd give me like a big bump of nostalgia. That'd be great. But I gotta make some headway in this fucking game. I'm still in the first section. But that's it for now.